Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You're watching the ESEL FastCup, the mlbb tournament out here for Europe. That's gonna be me scared yet for now. Yeah, we're gonna be starting out here solo, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be joined in by Warren pretty soon. Yeah. Again, it's Sunday evening. We know that it's FastCup. It's gonna be an amazing evening out here. We'll be revealing the team soon in front of you as well to see which one of those have actually made it up here. We've got three best of threes. The first two are going to be the two semi-finals, and then we've got the best of three grand final as well. Again, it's Sunday evening. It's gonna be absolute fun. In the past few weeks, we already saw the Women Cup as well happening. We saw a lot of lineups. It was pretty fun, to be very honest. I was absolutely enjoying all of those events as well. But when it comes down to this Fast Cup, this Fast Cup is something which we all know is super amazing. It's pretty solid. Last week when I was here, it had some pretty fun teams out in front of us, and I believe it was NM who took on White Army. A best of three game that actually ended up 2-0, where it was White Army who eventually won, but then again they had to forfeit before going to the grand final. So NM was awarded that game, and they went into the grand finals itself. White Army were facing some kind of problems there though, but it was a pretty fast 2-0 which actually came in front of us. And then we also had two other teams, that was Protocol Omega taking on Unix. And guess what? Right now, again, we've got the same Unix in front of us, but they'll be facing Itami. And for all those people who don't know what Itami means, it actually means pain. So really like the nomenclature here, and I'm an anime geek. I am an absolute fan of anime, so I kind of do know that anime Japanese, right? So Itami, it actually is derived from there. You next, again, with the way how this team played previously, the Phase Protocol Omega, really solid lineup of Lager, Painkiller, Suli, Yukasa, as well as Miko. We know all these players. We've seen them previously, so it is going to be pretty fun to see them again on the stage and see if they can continue their performance of winning out the Fast Cup as well, because I'm pretty sure that they were in the grand finals and then they ended up winning that one grand finals as well. It was against NM themselves, and yeah, as I said, it was a pretty fast one too. I'd have to say we had all the players playing phenomenally well, but over towards the end, I'm pretty sure we had our distinguished favorites as well. Especially in that game number one where Unix kind of ended the game pretty early. I believe it was under 14 minutes, 15 minutes mark as well. Lager was playing really, really good. Painkiller was giving some insane good setups to his team. Soli as well, he was playing that Cho in towards that EXP lane. So I kind of did like their lineup, which they brought out onto the table. Even though there were an M on the other side, with a pretty solid late game lineup as well, with the Farsa, with the Claude, and all that stuff. But yeah, eventually it was Unix who came out on top and won that one. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to take
Your
any more
team
time
is
out
banning.
here. We'll be moving right into the drafting phase itself. Itami onto the blue side, taking on Unix onto the red side.
Your team is banning.
Getting ready out here already for the bans. Pretty straightforward. No problems whatsoever. And out here, Yisun Shin on the red side. Straightforward bans, again, no special changes. The only interesting thing is seeing that Sora ban pretty
Your
early on
team
over
is
towards
banning.
the blue side, which we don't usually see. Sometimes teams, they like to
Your team
prioritize that
is
Sora.
banning.
While on the other end of the spectrum, you've got the Yisun Shin, Joshin, the straight up standard bans, though Yisun Shin is an interesting entry. I'm pretty sure it's probably because they don't want the side of Itami to play it. Not just because it's a standard ban, but more so because maybe they're trying to target some player on the other side. So that's going to be that. Grok standard answer. Don't want to
Your
give them that
team is
initiator and the Leo mod for that comfort jungle pick. Just to deny that early game aggression, the execution line, and a bit of that annoying tankiness that actually comes in once the Leo makes the brute force breastplate. So the lineup for the side of Unix is going to be exactly the same right now. Suli, Lager, Painkiller, Miko, as well as Yukasa. I want to see how things flow here. On the other side of the spectrum, still waiting for that last ban though. It could be anything. It should be a Freya normally.
Your
Oh, but
team
they're
is
actually going to lock
picking.
down the Fredrin. Don't want to give them that tank jungle options. Freya could be a potential first pick. Kalia, I don't think so. Kalia is a nice one. Maybe an Eve if Itami want to go for that same killbox composition with the Eve for the long range poke though. But you kind of have that figured out with the Zation on the other side.
Your
So yeah,
team
it is a
picking.
Freya pick. We're gonna go into the standard Freya into the gold lane, and then you build up from that point onwards. So you next can potentially answer back with a Gato for themselves when locking in their mid laner. Maybe they can go for a Gato along with Eve. Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines. Maybe a Gato Eve, and if they don't want to lock the Gato so early, maybe they can go for Phobius Eve. Esmeralda seems like a good shout here. Could be played in the EXP lane, could also be put up into the gold lane, so that's one thing which you can go for. I think so Esma could be a good shout. No, they're
Your
actually going to
team
lock in
is
the Yu
picking.
Zhong though, so still going with the same idea of locking their EXP laner early. You next want to try and get that one thing sorted out. Again, for the people who have just joined us, it is the ESEL Sunday night Fast Cup. We have 3 best of 3s today. And the first one is between Itami taking on you next. Itami are on the blue side while you next are on the red side. And for a bit of a history, you next have already won the Fast
Your
Cup of
team
the
is
previous
picking.
Sunday. Now coming back onto this draft itself, it's the Basha who's been locked in instantly along with the Farsa as well on the other side. And so the long range answered by even a longer range though. Even Farsa matchup out. For one side, you have got that killbox kind of composition. For the other side, you're going with the front to back idea with a slight bit of dive with the Freya and the Baxia. So you need someone who can actually properly front line to stop the Yuzhong from diving in on the far side itself. And I don't think so Beleric is the answer for that. It's going to be slowed down. Gato. It's a good
Your
shout.
team is
Really good shout.
banning.
So you're not really holding the fort down to stop the Baxia or the Freya, but you're doubling down onto that dive, the Gato and the Yuzhong. Almost similar picks, just one thing, Itami have picked up their gold laner, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be locking down that gold laner a little bit more, and considering they've got the Baxia, they might want to ban out the carry, while for you next, ban out the potential wins against the Yuzhong. Maybe the Esmeralda, take her away. I don't think so CC would be a good shout here,
Your
but they
team
actually
is
ban her
banning.
out. Interesting to see. Again,
Your
just
team is
stopping all of that
banning.
out. Alright, the carry has been taken away.
Makes sense.
That's fair. Straight up answer.
Makes sense to get rid of her. You already have Gatot in the front, Yuzong, they don't really like that. Especially Yuzong, you fly on carry, if she has Purify, she will do quick work
Yep.
of you. So not really the best.
Also, surprise people, we've got Warren back on the desk, my man. How are you feeling?
Hello, hello, and I'm sorry for all the complication I had caused. I'm here right now.
Welcome out here. And again, Warren, just to fill you in on the details, I believe you're one of those new viewers for whom I was actually shouting all of it out, right? We've got you next playing against Itami for this best of 3. And it's the Sunday night Fast Cup. We've got 3 best of 3s, 2 semifinals, and then 1 grand final.
Your
This
team
is the
is picking.
semifinal 1. Game number 1, Itami taking on you next. It's the first time for Itami to show up here but Unix are the winners of the previous week's Sunday Fast Cup. So it's like Unix having a territory which they've already charted, while it's an uncharted place for Itami. And coming in out here, their draft looks pretty solid, including the bans as well.
I'm actually surprised we are not seeing the classics meta shift, you know, Boris Gaming, but we might still see them. Or will we not?
I mean, hopefully. Well, it's a surprise who the next two teams are, so
Oh, we
check
don't
it out
know.
just for us. We'll get to
Well,
the next
let's not jump too far ahead. Martis, I really like that. Actually, I was watching one of the tournaments that were happening in some other parts of the world, and they played Martis. It was extremely good. I don't know if you caught it. Martis XP it was. Beautiful, beautiful performance. So I'm really looking forward to this Martis, but I'm not sure. Yeah, he's jungle. He's jungle. He's not XP, so
Your team is picking.
I was kind of expecting the Esmeralda to be banned out though instead of the high loss, but you know what? It is kind of understandable with what Unix are kind of going with. They don't want that high loss to be picked up on the other side just so they can close in the gap in that real world manipulation itself. Now Nolan being logged in, uh, it's it's a difficult choice, I'd have to say, right? Because you want to dive in on the other side, but there's a Kaja already stopping you, and then you'll have to take care of Freya as well with a fracture. And if anything, you'd really need to snowball hard and fast in this game. And we'll have to see. I believe this Martis is actually going to be playing into that gold lane, considering Suli is going in with the killing spree out here. So that's one part of it, but on the other side of the spectrum, yeah, it's actually Suli EXP lane Martis with Miko playing in onto the gold lane. Yu Jong, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be hopping into the land of Dawn itself, and with all of that said and done, it's Itami onto the blue side taking on Unix onto the red side.
oh, absolutely. A lovely introduction into the land of Dawn. And let's talk matchups, right? In mid lane, we have Gatot and Eve. They will do exactly as they are doing right now. They will kind of give up the pressure because Kaja and together with Forza will be definitely a menace. Bird form flying over to check on Yuzong. How's he doing? But not really aggressive.
They're gonna play it slow, man. Again, just want to try and clear out those waves. It's Miko on towards that EXP lane. I've seen all of that happen. Suli just getting poked down a bit. Again, you're playing the Martis into the Freya. It's not going to be easy considering all the dashes with the orbs that you've got on the other side. Plus, in terms of mid lane clearing, you've got that Ring of Punishment along with Farsa to clear out that way faster than a Gato Eve. So you well maintain that river control along with a decent bit of poke. Now this is the problem, right? With Nolan, you want to maintain that aggressive control of the mid so that Nolan can actually hop in and maybe steal away those creeps. But that is not happening right now, which is already putting Lagger in a slight bit of disadvantage.
Lagger, so far, is keeping up with the pace, level 4. That's all that matters. As Nolan, you don't really want to fall behind, though he has a really hard job. Because as we mentioned, I believe we mentioned when we were casting Frozen Diva together, and you are an assassin. Oh, there's a scuffle happening.
Yeah, for now. Down towards the bot out here. Painkiller, it might get caught out in the open, but Zay is going to be running away with a flicker with his life, but can't say the same for Painkiller. So that is an early opening, but hold on. Feathered airstrike, but you've got to reposition just as quickly. Thanks to Yukasa hopping in onto that void crystal to punish Shishinji.
Dancing around the turtle might be the first objective of the... Ooh, that was crazy initiation! RWM being dropped on their faces, a lot of damage coming their way, but will it be enough? I'm not quite sure. There is a lot of happening. Martis missing his execution. Now he has to flicker out of harm's way to survive. Very explosive start.
Yeah.
1 kill for each side.
It's tough out there. Shishinji still in that bush out, but again, they can't really go in for any kind of engage. Here's the fun fact. Itami rely a lot on their ultimates. That is one part where Unix could eventually take the advantage and maybe control that game. As we have a look at the first few items that are being built up. Smart play from Unicron. Picks up the Leader Jenkins, making sure that he's not getting as much poke damage from the Martis, and now instantly rushing for the golden stuff without even making the boots. I believe he understands the fact that in this broken walls he can actually rotate pretty fast, so just making sure to capitalize on the back of it, though it's expanding reverse if I'm not wrong, not the broken walls. Even better. Oh, hold on, what?
What was that delete? Oh my lord, Unicron with a 1v1 against Sully. But Unicron will be fine, but that delete from Lager? Ooh, sheesh. And I believe Unicron will be chased away anyway. Yeah, RWM on his face. I don't think he can dodge from that. And AOG, beautiful dive, beautiful dive. And I think Zaruk will... Nah, he's not for, unfortunate. But the kill goes to Kaja. That's a roamer. This is a good trade.
That's the main thing. I kind of wanted Loiser to pick that one trade up, but yeah, that ain't happening here. So it's a little bit tough out, I'd have to say, for Itami. Even though they've got 1 for 1 trade out up there, they're still kind of trailing behind in the goal lead. It's just 1.1k, so it's not that much, but this is something you can't really let Unix run away with. They've already won one of the FastCup previous Sunday, so they know how to play out here in these best of threes. Look at down bottom.
At the bot, nothing too spicy, but maybe at the top, because 3v1 sounds spicy, but there's Penko to maybe change it around. He was the one face check in the bush, which luckily for Zaruk, he's a quite tanky fella, so Zaruk will be fine as well.
Yeah, it's just that they're kind of holding it down to clear the wave now. Itami want to play across the map. They want to play cross map, don't want to play in for the turtle, and this was the opportunity. Unix picked it up. Oh, hold on.
Mako going in, crazy petrify AOG on top of their hats, RWM on top of that, and it's an instant delete. And there is Zaruk, who is ready to execute. He has his Sky Piercer ready to rumble, but I don't know, maybe this was a little bit too deep. Zaruk, run with your life if you want to keep your stacks, buddy.
Yeah, not really going in deep. I absolutely love the fact here that they instantly went in for that petrify play, deleted Unicron. And what a call being made from Unix. They realized that there were 4 people of Itami up top, so they did not have any kind of idea that there could be a potential death push trap in the mid. And this is the thing which I was talking about, right? That 1k gold lead instantly turning into an almost 3,000. And they have... that's it. I wouldn't say they've got a very good scaling composition as well as compared to Itami, because you've got the Farsa, you've also got the Freya on the other side, and the Esmeralda. But all in all, they've got a pretty nice snowball composition. So if they run away with this lead, it will be difficult for Itami to pull themselves back.
Oh, absolutely, especially with that Nolan running around. Lager, level 10. He's 2 levels ahead of any, actually... Titan just leveled up, so he is catching up to him. Ooh, there will be a scuffle. Martes initiating, getting suppressed. AOG to disengage, and Zaruk is fine. RWM being dropped on their faces, and Shishinji, he found himself in the oven. This bird has been cooked and done for. This is a roasted chicken for the lunch, and Titan will be going down even without that trade. Yukasa and the rest of the squad, they have a good goal lead, 4,000.
They instantly wanted to go in for that punish, but got punished themselves. Itami, you could clearly see a lot of openings in their back, and that is exactly what was used up by Lager to instantly burst down the Farsa. Hold on. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Solely, it's gonna be fine as well. Coming back onto the same thing. Shinji was dead in that position. He instantly bursted up with a feather airstrike and then went in with a flicker towards the right hand side of the map, and then tried to just use the bird form to maybe dodge away from the fracture, but it did not really matter. You were inside the real world manipulation. He was dead. But one thing which I wanted to point out was the flicker from Titan. He kind of wanted to go in for a trade against Yukasa, and he was slowed down in that process, but he
Black
still
Dragon.
could not go for it. And now look at Bot.
Yoji missing, but Black Dragon is chasing. He has the Hunter Strike and he is ready to hunt, but unfortunately he couldn't quite connect on the targets. But the price is still Titan. Mega kill for Yukasa.
Again, Titan is just trying to zone away at least 2 to 3 people, but he's not tanky enough. That is a problem.
This is a 5v4, I don't think you want to fight it. Instant CC, lockdown, feathered airstrike, bye-bye, you're not gonna use that buddy. And Zaruk with a triple, will it be more? Yes, it's a maniac wipeout.
Massive play from Suli again. He knows his job, and it is not to hop in first, but rather to stop by when they are pretty low in the HP. And that is where the decimation shows up its true potential. Instantly bursting down too. Shinji couldn't do anything. He was just left out alone. And I'd have to say, in terms of positioning, he has been caught off multiple times by just the Martis. You also have Yu Jong in the hands of Miko, who is always a threat. So if it's not Suli, it is going to be Miko. And can we really just talk about Painkiller? He could be anywhere on the map and then could just instantly pop in on Shinji once he's in the feathered airstrike. That's also, it's already tough to play against the lineup like Unix that has right now. And then you add in a bit of a mispositioning there, it becomes even more easy for them. Hold on, look at mid.
Mako will be fine. He just jumps over the wall and he is alright.
Painkiller picked up the Radiant armor. They already have the Lord marching down the bot. Tier 2 should easily fall. But I kind of want to have a look at the items as well. Perfect timing.
It's not
production.
Hunter Strike.
Shout out to you guys.
He is Vorax. It's Yu-Zong with a Vorax. Oh, I was wrong. That's on me.
It's fine. It happens. Again, you kind of get that additional bit of penetration and the damage as well from Vorax. So it's still a threat. With the Sky Piercer Vorax Sea Halberd in the hands of Suli, you add in the building block of the Rose Gold Meteor, so he is going to get that shield once he's low in the HP. That's also going to help him sustain a bit. Yes, there's Titan on the other side, but Titan is busy fighting the backline with his life most of the times.
Oh, yes. Titan has been sacrificed a couple of times. He's been kind of Black Dragon form flying in, maybe to zone out or maybe to look for a kill. If he lands on the Petrify, Titan goes in to try to disengage. Hunter Strike being locked on for Mako, so even more damage for this fight. RWM not really hitting anyone, and Painkiller is kind of there left to his own devices. Well, still, Roamer for an XP laner, you take this any day of the week.
Exactly, because look at the amount of resources you're forced on the other side, but the fight continues.
Why did you go for Mako? Because this was the worst decision you possibly had during the whole game. Kill for Suli, and he tries to go for more. Unfortunately, missing that crucial CC part of the second spell, and now hopping in like a madman. Suli? Alright, it's fine.
No, it's gonna be fine. He's got the Mortal Coil, so it doesn't even matter. Here's the thing, you look at the level. That's level 13 right now that we're talking about. Already 2 levels ahead for most of them. You got Unicron on 11, Shinji on 11. Titan is the only man who's actually level 12, and that is the EXP rating you have along with Loiser, who's the jungler. But if a jungle Baxia is so far behind, he will not be able to do anything into those fights. So that is a bit tough.
I have to say, the pick for Martis was absolutely genius. 9,000 IQ, because if you look at the Itami composite, let's not look at that, let's look at the scuffle around the purple, not the purple, orange. Legger? Yeah, he has it. He is a little rascal, he got that. But what I wanted to say is usually Titan with Esmeralda and also Freya on Unicron, those are the heroes that would sustain a lot. But how can you sustain if you get popped on half HP? That's such a menace.
And that is the main problem which Itami are facing right now. So, right, I talked about this, that Unix have got a really nice scaling composition, or rather not scaling but snowball composition. If they get the early lead, they can instantly turn it up into what, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 gold lead, and currently they've got 12,000 in their back pockets. Almost all of the players have made 4 of their major items. Just the fifth one being building up for Lager, which I'm pretty sure is going to be Blade of Despair. On the other side, you've only got a couple of items, and the third one is being built up, and that is tough. You need at least 3 to have that extra bit of penetration. And I'm talking about Shenji. He's the main source of damage for Itami. You need all those 4 feathered airstrike bongs. Without that, you're not melting anyone. And guess what? The maximum that he can land is 2. After that, you've got Painkiller hopping on top of you. You've got Suli running right on your face. Miko is dodging every single piece of CC and every human being just to hop on top of the far side of the Black Dragon form. So it's, as I said, really tough to play the bird in this one.
Yeah. It's duck hunting season and you are the duck. Everyone has a shotgun. They are aiming straight for you. Feather airstrike from far away. That might be the tool. Ah, not really.
Look at
Black
that.
Dragon will just push you away from your feather airstrike. And Mako with the rest will probably just go easily for that military. Maybe for an end petrify initiation. God. Hey, OG on their faces. RWM not quite connected, but the rest are fighting it through. Will it be enough? Oh, it will be enough. Base crystal exploding. And you next. Truly deserving their name, because their opponents were the next on the chopping block.
I mean, their name was Itami, but they were the ones who were facing all of that pain on themselves, so it was really tough to play in this one. I like the idea of Unicron going in for the endless battle, just to make sure he's dealing extra bit of true damage to all of the beefy frontliners, but it did not really matter. By the time you hopped up towards Yukasa, you were already, as you rightfully mentioned, down to just your half HP, and Shenji couldn't land anything more than 2 of those feathered airstrikes. So, as I said, it is really tough to play a Farsa in a composition like what they had, and it did not even have a Purify, right? So you couldn't even kind of go for that slight bit of Purify outplay by tapping it in as soon as the Yuzhong hops on top of you. So that one slight interaction was also not working out for them. All in all, I would say a pretty solid draft and even better execution by Unix.
And I'm happy that you are using that lovely word, execution, because in the game there were so many executions being done through just Martis and his Sky Pistol. I really love the pick.
Yeah.
It actually was like I said it will be. Not in XP, but it was on a lane. It wasn't in the jungle, so I was very, very happy, very pleased. But now the sides have been swapped, so Sully and the rest of the team cannot really counterpick that well because their opponents have the last say in that. Yuzong being banned makes a lot of sense after what Mako did.
Yeah, you'd not really want to give that Yuzhong onto the other side whatsoever. I do like the idea. Instantly adapting into the draft itself, right? You understand that some things just don't really work out that well, so you don't need to brute force you. You simply just ban them out, and that is all about it. You can instantly take care of the rest of the picks as well once the next few pick phases begin. Yuzhong, Sora, none of that happening. You got the Yi Sun Shin along with the Fred being banned out in front of you. I like the idea. Sticking down to those junglers, which have been causing problem to Unix, I believe. So they haven't changed up their play. The third one. Do you want to ban out a Jushin or do you want to keep that open? That is the interesting question.
That's a question that definitely has to be answered, and it probably will be answered right now. All right, it's a Yiv ban, which makes me think they are either baiting for a Juxin ban or they are hoping for a Juxin lock-in.
Oh, wow.
Right now, it's free
The Jushin
season.
first pick should be.
Yeah. If they don't do it, I'm selling my house. That's how strongly I believe they are going to lock it in. Yes, you see?
Your house
I
is safe,
won't-
otherwise I would have been the first buyer.
I won't be homeless.
For now. But with the type of gambling that you're doing, Warren, I am worried about you, my man. Just saying. Now with the Zushin already picked up, or rather the Jushin already picked up, what's going to be the next idea? How do you counter down the Zushin? Maybe you can pick up the Zaytian early on, or if not right here, you can hold it down for the next few picks. The Grok was open along with the carry as well, so Itami are instantly going for it, denying any kind of tanky lineup like the Baxia, which was picked up by themselves in the previous one. They don't want Unix to go with that kind of lineup.
I know it.
Jushin, since it's already...
Yeah, go on. Go on.
Go ahead. I was just going to predict the Roma.
Leo lock-in makes a lot of sense. If it's free for the taking, of course you go for... Nah.
No.
He is messing with us. He's not... Nice skin, by the way. I have to say, this skin, for the price that it's being sold for, I think there was crazy discount on it because it got released. Honestly, this skin looks so good for the price it had. I have to give props to Moontune. Like, this skin, goddamn. But, well, it will be Patrick. That, I believe, will be my first game of Patrick. I mean, I casted with Glue, but I never casted with Patrick. So, that's new for me. What do you think will be the answer for Titan or for anyone else on his team against what their opponents have?
Now, in order to counter the Leo mod as well as the Jushin, you would want to go Zaytian. But once you look at the Glue on the other side, you could potentially lock in the Faramis as well.
Farsa?
Alright. I take all of that away. They're actually going to lock in the Farsa. Interesting choice of picks here. Front to back once again. So you need one EXP that can actually set your team up for success. Not like the proper disengage one, but rather an initiation one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Well, initiation-wise, you kind of have that. You have Grog. Of course, if you were not talking about their opponents.
I mean, here's the thing. With Farsa and carry being picked up, the Grog can't really hop and give a tech charge set play. You will have to play passive, considering you'd rather want to protect your backliners. So, again, it goes down to that front to back kind of composition. So now you need something that can stop the Leo mod or that can set your team up for success. I'm thinking of something like an Arlot.
Arlot for the XP. Yeah, that could work. At the same time, wouldn't Uranus or someone like him make more sense since you want to stretch out the fights for carry?
I don't think so. Again, then you would kind of lack that crowd control, right? Again, if you pick something that can set things up in the EXP lane, then you have a free hand on Grok that he can go for the tech charge play as well, and your EXP laner can protect the backline. But if you go for something like Uranus, now he's got no CC. So the only way of crowd control you have is going to be that Grog. So you will have to protect the power of nature as well as the wild charge. And that's why Unix have banned out the Arlot. I love the ban.
Well,
and you called out the Uranus pick. Kudos to you for that.
I was correct after all. Guinevere jungle could be pretty not nice because Leo Mort, his biggest problem usually is that his opponents kind of, it's actually something else. So I'm not gonna cook with that. Scrap that. Let's have a new meal.
You can actually cook if you want to. It's fine.
Tamus?
They're just showing the skins. And fun fact, we're in the tournament lobby, so they've got access to all the skins. I don't know why they're
Oh yeah, so it's kind of like you are flexing with your friend's Ferrari, low-key.
Yeah, kind of. And that too, you're flexing it to your friend who has the Ferrari.
Yeah, truly. All right, Lucas. They absolutely cooked my brain. I wasn't expecting that pick at all. How is his matchup into Uranus? Since he got buffed and he has that extra sustain, I believe it will get better, obviously. But how is that matchup? Could you walk me through that, Scar? What can we expect from the XP line?
Lucas wants you to hop onto the face while Uranus will hop onto your face and then he'll just go back and then he'll hop on again after he's full HP while you are still struggling to regain your HP back. So it's going to be boring matchup, I must say. The only idea of Miko on the EXP lane with the Lucas is going to be just to clear that wave as quickly as possible and hop into the team fight. Forget about everything else. Now, I was thinking of a tanky jungle for Itami. I was on the routes of a Baxia or an Akai. I was leaning more towards the Akai just because it's got the heavy spins and you can protect the Farsa and the carry a little bit better with that. But with the Basha, with the Shield of Unity, you've got a better engage. So maybe you just want to play for the map control, for taking the charge in those fights, ladies and gentlemen. Out here, we're going to be getting ready out for potentially the last game of this best of 3. Maybe Itami can actually push us forward for the third game. Or maybe we're going to be having Unix cleaning the board with a 2-0 as their record till now in the Fast Cups have been flawless. Let's see which one of them will take this game.
Production wants to make me happy, so we are locked on Patrick, so I can really enjoy it. Thank you for that, production. As we see, Patrick is
And
kind
the
of
zoomed out.
As we can see, Patrick will be a menace. The usual saving grace of Glue is that he has to farm, so he cannot be as annoying because he has to farm sometimes. This Glue, he can be as annoying as he wants to be.
But here's the thing. I mean, Rome Glue, I'm not a big fan. Oh, hold on.
Loiser is definitely a fan of Rome Glue as he is shredding his HP bar, but not quite enough as Zayak, and Loiser had to retreat actually.
I was actually thinking that maybe Unix would want to go in for the invade to steal over the bear, considering Meiko is actually winning in the EXP lane right now. Again, those early few levels are all going to be Lucas for the win.
That was great. Painkiller, absolute perfect aim, and Zaruk. Oh, Senshi getting stunned up and killed actually. First blood goes to Painkiller. It's a kill for a roamer, yes, but the thing is, Shishenchi, I'm not sure if he can catch the wave. Right, he lost one. He lost two. He lost 2 minions. Yes, he got the XP for the third, but he lost 2 minions. Loiser going in for the painkiller, but he is alright. The problem is now, he's not real lacking in the term of XP, but there's Lagger. He has level 4. Tries to go in for Loiser, and the root immobilized. Yeah, Patrick doing the job. Pull in, and Yukasa got the kill. Second kill for you next.
That poke is nonsensically annoying at this point, man. You could just clearly see Loiser didn't want to pop the tortoise for Sean's early, so he just kept it up until he was down half HP, and then he instantly lost all of it. Just because he was being poked down by the slam and then was being picked up by the lantern flare. This is just annoyingly good micro play coming in from Unix. Hold on.
They are going in, and Lagger will be leading the charge, finally getting a kill for himself. Zayak, he couldn't really do anything. I thought for a second he used the Tecton charge because he just got level 4, but no, it was Yukasa just pulling him back, and Zayak just lying dead on the floor.
And now over down towards the bottom side as well. Unicron has already been losing out the fight against Suli. And not just once, he's probably missed out on a couple of minions. One cannon minion from the previous wave itself. So yeah, things have been tough for this carry down. Already one full level behind Suli. And here's the thing, even though he's got the quantum charge, that HP regen is just not enough. I want to see if he's actually running on the fighter emblem or not.
Right now they are running in the face of Titan, who has to flicker out of harm's way. Ferrarester try to disengage, keep them alive, but there is Grab as he goes and pulls him back in. Loiser, bye-bye. You are between a rock and a hard place, and in this instance, in this metaphor, the hard place and the rock was the full enemy team. Titan? Mako? He is alive. Last moment, that charged up first spell kept him barely alive.
And now with almost 4 minutes up on the clock as well, we can see the first few items being logged in for Lager, Suli, Miko with the Vorax as well. Yeah, things are gonna get even more tough for Itami right now. This game is worse than the previous one. You can talk about that mid control, which they don't really have just because of this glue and the Jushin being annoyingly good at poking. And guess what? They're going at it again.
Someone let the horses out because Lager is there again, going for another kill, killing spree for Lager as he makes himself even more fat. 3-0 and shoes, he bought them just now because he wanted the most damage he could get, and it came to fruition.
Who let the... Oh!
Forza with the face check that almost took her own life. Zaruk will be pain with his though, because Unicron was able to finish him, but it's a trade Titan for Zaruk.
It was a 2v1. Sully though kind of went in a bit more overboard there, down towards the top, up towards the top, so was taken down, but the fight continues.
Yukasa using ult and flicker to keep himself alive, and Glue is just kind of being a menace. They have to run from Glue Rome? Damn, the game.
He's a hypocrite.
The game is in a weird state.
I agree, and he's just a hypocrite. His name is Painkiller, but he's doing anything but killing the pain. He's giving them more.
He's creating the pain. He should be pain creator, if we are on the topic. Right now, Lucas with a 1v2. Can he do it? Extra healing, dashing around. Titan chasing this big fox. 9 tails, will it be enough? I'm not sure. Mako? No, his cooldowns were simply too long for that.
He kind of missed out onto the Biju bomb there, so yeah, that was the big problem where he lost all of that burst damage. Otherwise, he could have converted that 1v2. And that could have been the entirely game-changing moment for the side of Unix. Even though they're winning right now, with the 4,000 goal lead, sitting comfortable, Unicron could not even get the bottom tower. It should be defended by just that one shot. Yeah, they're not even getting anything there. Now this kind of prevents you from getting that 1k gold, and in the mid, you're forced out the consecration already for Titan.
Titan, that was too deep, my man. Federal strike to try to trim the wave at least. Honestly, Shisenji is right now doing maybe even less damage than the roamers. This doesn't look good for him.
Again, it's tough for him one more time. As soon as you hop into that for the dash strike, you know that Painkiller is gonna be on top of you, like right now.
There's Mako in the backline going for Unicron, bursting him down, but not quite enough, and still happened for Itami. They continue to fight. Grab is there to try to pull in Loiser, but there is not enough damage because you're missing one crucial member, and Lager needs to run. The longer I'm watching that Glue Rome gameplay, the longer I'm feeling like he's playing a completely different game.
Yeah, because again, he does not really care about that front line, right? All he needs to do is just push down Unicron behind, and maybe even put Shinji in an awkward position. But here's the thing, I like how Itami are slowly and steadily adapting to the play that Unix are having. They're not really forcing down the fights with a feather airstrike, they're just holding it down to the last second, and once Shinji knows that all the disruptive skills have been used up, that's when he goes in for the ultimate.
Federal Strike is a disengaged tool, but as we can see, it doesn't do damage even to Lager. And there's a pull-in coming from the grab combination. Mega kill for Lager as they establish their lead even deeper. But actually, the lead is kind of falling off. I don't know how it happened. Oh, Mako with that grab on Loiser. Loiser got picked off very nastily. Titan 2, just 2 members trying to defend their base. I mean, towers before the base, but luckily for them, opponents don't really have minions.
Now here's the thing, right? I kinda don't like what Unicron did in this instant. He went in for the golden staff as the next one. Now I understand you've got a passive proc up that too pretty soon, but considering the kind of lineup that Unix are going with, I kind of wanted him to go with the Demon Hunter sword. Not just to burst down the tanks, but also to get some sustainability from that life steal from the passive, so that he could stand up in those fights for a little bit longer, considering Miko is popping the vengeance as soon as he's hopping up in the face of Unicron. So that's one. I mean, maybe I'm just nitpicking here, but it just still needs one more item to complete the Trinity. Sky Piercer picked up by Yukasa.
Ninth
108,
minute
so you
in.
need. Yeah,
Ninth
he
minute in
needs to pick up
Skype,
those
it's kind
kills.
of wild. As wild as is this team fight because Itami went in for the neck. They are trying to clean them up and it's working out so far. Grab will maybe kill Zag, but it's just a roamer. The rest of the fight can't continue with the rest of the team. Loiser, and you've been mocking the golden staff, but I'm telling you, if we saw damage from this team fight, Unicron would be the top dog.
I agree. But again, Shinji as well with the feather airstrike was instantly able to burst down Miko, so he had to hop back and he did not really have most of that damage. Look at that
We were
burst!
laughing. We were laughing. We were mocking him. But Senji is back, ready to rumble, because this Divine Glaive, oh, it made him into a different beast. He maybe was a pigeon before, but right now, he's a phoenix.
Oh,
Grab for
grab,
the
grab.
backline, and Senji, just when I praise him, gets cut off. Demon Hunter Sword completed, so maybe Unicron can turn the tide of battle, but doesn't look like it. It looks like right now he is running for his life.
Again, it was Suli this time. In the previous one, he was being picked off, so that was a bit tough. But this time around, instantly, he was able to burst down Zayak as well as Shenji once the grab was on top of him. The Lord marching from up top though, but still, waves being pushed by you next.
Phantom's teeth, he get pushed away, so he's not gonna really do anything. Oh, Titan,
Efficient.
don't get caught. He's alright.
He's fine.
Zayak? Oh,
No,
Mako.
Here's the thing now. Painkiller has picked up the Chastis Pauldron. I want to see the items right now for Itami. I kind of want to see if they've made up the Radiant Armors along with the Chastis as well. Alright, first two items from Zayak. I like it. Where's the anti-heal? You've got it in the hands of Shenji. Now that is a bit tough. Maybe Uranus. Alright, you've also got the Dominance Ice up in front of him. So it's absolutely fine. You've got two anti-heals. The fight is going to continue.
Pull in, grab on their faces, but it's just Zack. It's not really that big of a deal, but Mako, oh, he is making plays happen. Trying to snipe, not really hitting because he got body blocked. Titan, Laser is the target, second one to fall. Shenji, he is trying to do something and he's able to trade someone, even with a usage of Flicker. Yukasa, that Destiny Clock maybe could have kept you alive, but you didn't have it in that last fight.
I don't know, but I don't think so. It was worth it to hold on to the feathered airstrike for so long. You've already lost two of your frontliners.
Titan? What was that?
Huh? Got wiped out from the face of the earth.
Yeah, but it almost looked like his GPS malfunctioned. Like, he took a wrong turn. I don't know why he was there when he should have been absolutely somewhere else.
It's fine. He was still trying to protect the wave from crashing in onto the main inhib just so his team could defend, but it comes down to that same Chastis Pauldron Radiant Armor. It was completed by Zayak, right? So once the Grok is not there in those fights, you don't have the Chastis passive slowing down the attack speed of Slowly. So that means everyone else will be bursted in a second.
And right now, Ferreira tried to do the same, but the burst wasn't there because it got stopped. Unfortunately, Shenji couldn't get his footing, so the rest of the team got destroyed and he couldn't support them throughout. Triple kill for Lager, and Titan, he knows that this game is over and he only has his eyes for crying. Because this game is done, so it's a wipeout and you next are already thinking about their next series.
Maybe. 2 seconds for Loiser to hop in. Can he hold on though?
I don't think he can.
No way.
It's gone. I
He
love what
just
you try
tried.
to do. Fight until the bitter end. I love it. I like it. But Scared, come on. Sometimes it's done.
I mean, it exactly was done at this time. Again, you next, a team that kind of gives a slight bit of hope to the other side by making a few errors, but doesn't matter. They instantly clear things out over towards the mid to late game. Nice build coming in from Suli. Went in for the early Divine Glaive. This is what I love from players, right? Did not really go in for the Holy Crystal. He realized that there's a lot of magic defense on the other side. You already have Radiant Armors on Loiser as well as Zayek. So you need that penetration to burst through that front line. You can't hop in and delete the back instantly. You have to burst the enemy front line before Unicron bursts your front line. And he understood the assignment with the Divine Glaive. Endless battle as well added by Lagar after the brute force breastplate gave him a bit of that true damage to lower down the HP bars of those beefy boys up in front. And to be honest, I think so. Sky Piercer was kind of a cursed item for Yukasa because as soon as he picked it up, he died twice.
Funny you mention it. You're absolutely right. Are the stacks showing up at the end? So he has 0? I'm correct, right? Or don't they show up?
I think so. No, they don't show up, but I'm pretty sure it was not 0.
Yeah, it
He
couldn't
still got
have
3
been. Yeah,
kills, so
yeah, it couldn't.
that's
It,
kind of
it, it
unfortunate.
couldn't have been 0 because I believe you cannot even get to 0. I think you end up at 1 stack, and that's it. I don't
Yeah.
think you can get lower because it's a third of the stack, so 1 cannot be divided anymore, and you end up on that. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think he even had 1, but he definitely didn't have much. I think he had like yeah. You are
7 or maybe 10, 12 stacks.
you are saying it correctly. The moment he took the item, he has been cursed and marked for death.
It's absolutely fine as long as their team wins the game. That's what matters, right?
Yeah.
And I think so. I was liking the idea of Shinshinji holding down that feathered airstrike for as long as the enemies had that crowd control skills. But I think so over towards those last 2 fights, right? He kind of held on to it for a little bit longer than necessary. Especially the one that was happening down towards the river, where everyone was dying. You had the Nathan free hitting everyone. Suli was just bursting down that front line. And then you've got Shinji just sitting in the bush near the bear crab, waiting for someone to show up. Yes, eventually you had the Jushin show up in front of you, but Jushin wasn't really the problems to begin with. You had to deal with the Nathan, and that's where your range comes into play with the feathered airstrike. You can control so much a part of the map that Nathan will have to use the entropy to hop away. If he's bold enough, he's going to jump on top of you. But that's exactly why you have got your own beefy boys to protect you from that kind of type. But as I said, none of that was happening because Uranus doesn't have the crowd control.
I agree. Also, I would like to pinpoint that in the draft, I already did not like it the most, the pickup of Carry together with Grog. Maybe I didn't mention it that much, but it's like you said. You on one side have Grog, who likes to initiate, have fast team fights, big explosion, boom, all that. Paired up with Farsa makes sense, but paired up with Carry, if you had Claude, for instance, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
Claude stacks up. He goes in, blast in, bam, bam, bam. Everyone is dead. That's great. But with Carry, doesn't really have that much synergy. If it was Kaja, if it was Hylos, if it was even Hilda, heroes like that have the constant pressure, that are thriving in those prolonged team fights, I think that would make more sense because this was like they were cooking a good dish, but they had. They didn't really know what they are trying to do, so they were putting good ingredients, but it ended up being a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Instead of the Grog, you might have gone for a Hylos, right? Maybe not in the first pick phase itself, maybe towards the second half, maybe towards the second picking phase, or if not the second picking phase, maybe just the third pick. That's where I kind of wanted to see maybe a Hylos just to try and slow down the enemies who want to approach your Farsa or who want to approach your carry. That way you can just burst them down instantly while they're trying to navigate through the glorious pathway. But it's absolutely fine. Whatever happened in the previous one stays in the past. We focus on what's going to happen right now. And again, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, it was semifinals 1. Unix have moved into the grand finals, but we still have semifinals 2. And we've got Karkovsky, Pasiki, and Noctalis Esports. Warren, please correct me if I'm wrong with that pronunciation.
I mean, depends. But yeah, I guess it should be something like along the lines like Karkovsky, Pasiki, right? Yeah. It also depends if the second part is meant to be. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be an Azbuka. I think it's supposed to be like in the classic English. I really like the logo. I don't know if I mentioned that on the stream, and maybe it's a logo from some designer or someone because it looks good. But I really like
I
the
agree.
time of humankind that we are in, you know, with the AI, everyone can have a fire logo, and I love it. I love it because even on those fast cups, even on those smaller tournaments, we still have the logos. It looks good. I'm just loving it, scared.
I agree. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to love is going to be the draft of second semi-finals here. As we said, we've got Karkovsky, Pasiki taking on Noctalis Esports. If it's translated literally from Ukrainian to English, it turns out to be Kharkiv Rats, and that's why you've got the rat logo there as well. I as you said, I kind of like the idea. While on the other side, Noctalis Esports playing Autoverse that red are going to be answering back to the Kharkiv Rats. Into the draft itself, we go with the Freya ban. Yeah, I think so. The next two are going to be pretty simple: Grok and Najushin, or either one of those two, whichever one you're feeling comfortable with.
Scared on the note of National Geographic, we actually, this player right there on the top right corner of Noct, his name, his second part of the game actually translates to one type of a snake, at least in my language and in a couple of others. So if it's meant like that, we have a crazy matchup: 5 rats against 1 snake. And I'm not really sure how well that will go for the snake because he's alone.
No, but it's a snake.
I know, but
If there was a mongoose on the other side, that would have been a problem.
5 rats, 1 snake. The odds don't look too good for him.
Yeah, but a snake is fast, you know. Depends on what snake though. Again, if you got rattlesnakes, yeah, I'm betting everything on the snakes.
Well,
If it's some,
let's not bet. As you said, betting and gambling is bad, so we are not gonna do that. What we will do is we will watch good quality mlbb as we did in the semifinals before this one. Right now we are entering the BO3, the second BO3 that will show us the challenger that will meet his opponent in the finals, that will meet you next. We are already waiting there, getting refreshed, getting ready.
And on that note, as we have a look at the draft, ladies and gentlemen, the Grok wasn't banned out by Noctalis, but rather was taken care of by KP. Let's just call them KP.
Yeah,
that seems easy.
Oh, definitely.
Akura, yeah, you've got Akura, Mia Rain, Stonix, Juzo, Essor. While for Noctalis, you've got UBJ, Eter, Lucas, easy. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Yeah, the longer I'm looking at the names, I
Skurzatu.
think they have to be Polish.
Kaposki. You tell me the pronunciation of the names then.
I don't know the Polish pronunciation, but in Czech, which is little bit closer than English, it would be Ubiezmie, it would be Lokacz, it would be Skrzatu, and it would be Kabowski. So that's a lesson for you.
That sounds that actually sounds correct, man. You know what? I'm gonna learn it from you.
So I hope I'm close, and I hope we will they will not be ashamed of how we pronounce their names.
Lokats. All right. Skrzatu. Kabowski is it's understandable.
Yeah,
All right,
Kabowski
now,
is
Yeah, with the pronunciation lessons now completed, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a look at the last part of the draft too. It's the Yujong banned out from one side, Kimi on the other side, Jushin was banned out already, Freya banned out again. All of that has been dealt with. Eve available, Yisun Shin available. What next? You got the Leo mod as well, but most of the times Leo mod is not prioritized as the first pick. But if anything, towards that second pick, yeah, it's gonna be the Eve lock-in.
By the way, this is a hot topic, at least for me, because Juxin should be bad into Yiv, and Yiv should counter Jukshin. But here we have that Jukshin is banned and you go for Yiv. It's really a peculiar situation. From what I understand, it's a skill matchup. Jukshin can still play it, even though it's a little bit better for Yiv. So just to clarify for everyone watching, well, Lokach will lock in that Leo, as you mentioned it, Scared. You kind of summoned him here, and Kabovsky will go. Wait a second, what's going on here?
I like the idea. It's a Leo mod in the jungle with Yi Sun Shin into that gold lane. But here's the thing. You normally keep that idea as a surprise till the second phase. You don't reveal all your cards in your first phase itself. And now with that, you've locked in the CC, which can go in any part, right? You could put the CC up in the gold lane, maybe into the EXP lane, depending on what your entire lineup is going to look like. But on the other side, all cards have been revealed. The Leo mod going into the jungle, Yi Sun Shin going into the gold. Lunox.
But does CC perform into Yi Sun Shin? I'm not quite sure. Because usually she struggles. She does, alright.
Yeah, Yi Sun Shin gets destroyed in the gold lane in the early game. His only job is to survive and poke the heck out of you with the arrow. That's all.
Alright. Well, then I don't
Claude
really...
just outperforms the Yi Sun Shin. So I kind of want to see a Claude ban from Noctalis.
Then I don't really like the odds for Noctalis, because they already, as you mentioned, they showed the cards and they got countered hard for that, which usually that's what we see from the red team. No, don't confuse with the reds that are on the left, but I mean red as the color, because usually the red colored team is the one with the counter picks. But this time, as you said, they shown their hands and now they've been countered. Let's see how well can they fix that. They still have Lunox, super strong mid laner, and those 1v1s, if she finds Eve, can be very deadly.
But it's a super scaling composition technically, if you see that, right? With the Yi Sun Shin, with the Lunox. Now, since the Yi Sun Shin is not in the jungle, that means it's going to be difficult for him to farm up. He is in the gold lane, so he will get the items, but not the level advantage. And you've got Lunox as well in the mid lane, who needs time to scale up. You've got to have something in the roam that can give you a good amount of poke, and Hilda was one of that, which has been banned out. So I like what KP are actually going with. What next? Maybe ban out a Khalid?
Khalid or Cho would be my idea. All right, Kalia. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Neither of us mentioned it, but definitely Kalia is kind of in the same ballpark, so makes sense. I would really like for them to pick up either Cho. Okay, I was thinking about Hylos, by the way, because he has so good synergy, not just counter as we mentioned before, but good synergy with Leo Mort, because he speeds him up and he goes like a madman, and the opponents are slowed as well on the glorious pathway. This Leo Mort is ready for some fun.
Full-fledged dive lineup coming in. You need something that can actually stop that. Yes, I like the idea of the curtains call to do it, but something else as well side by side. And I love the pick of Panda. You need disengage, heavy spin, best thing. Now to pair it all up with CC, Gato, and Eve for that kill box composition. You've got Akai to push the people away, lock in a Claude maybe. Nah, they're gonna go with the Hadith as well. To be honest, I'm not fully against it. I think so. Hadith performs really good into the gold lane too against the Yi Sun Shin. And he gets a really good power spike with the full 35% CDR along with the Zaman Force. So that should work out. But this Esmeralda could destroy that.
Yes. I have to agree. I think Esmeralda is absolutely bonkers pickup. I think it kind of destroys the all right, let's not say destroys, but she is very, very good. Of course, it will all come down to how efficiently can they play it, how well can they use it. And also on the other side, it will be super important for the heavy spin to come before RWM. Because if you do it the other way around, it's so easy for you to push them out from the RWM, and that could be so bad. That could destroy your whole team fight potential.
All in all, I just feel like the heavy spin out here is just for that disengage. If anyone hops in a bit too close to the Eve or maybe towards your Harith, that's when you pop it and push all of them away. Out on the other side, straight up, full dive, all gung-ho. Don't look back, ladies and gentlemen. As we are hopping into the second semi-finals, we've got Karkovsky Psiki taking on Noctalis Esports on the blue and the red side, respectively. Let's see which one of them will take the game one.
Lovely introduction from you, Scared. Thank you so much for it. Rats against snakes. Truly an episode from National Geographic. Let's see how well can they play it. Ether being a nuisance, trying to go for Esther, not really committing to that actually. Just kinda running around and losing a lot of HP for no real gain. Well,
if you're
not true.
If we're talking about National Geographic, rats, snakes, I'd rather place my bets on the penguin making it to the mountains.
All right. I don't know what's wrong with your screen, but on my screen there are no penguins, just a couple of horses.
You did not see the meme! You did not see the meme, Warren!
You know what they say, the older you are, the less memes you understand.
Alright, the literal meme is nothing but a penguin walking towards the mountains against where his herd is going. That's all.
Alright.
And you've got the National Geographic commentary going in the background. Just check for it. Penguin walking towards the mountains. Where in the next team fight, when it happens, just go and search it on YouTube, and I'll tell you. It's fine.
all right. Well, let's focus back on, because we might be having a lot of fun. I don't think either of those teams, they are having fun. All right, let's not put it like that, but they are definitely more locked in than we are. So I think we should be respectful and lock in a little bit more, because this first turtle could be first big scuffle, but doesn't look really like it, because no one from the Noctalis is moving towards it. Well, actually, forget that, because Lokach is moving right here. Is he going for a steal? Running around, checking those bushes.
Yeah, he kind of wants to go in though, but it's a bit too late just because of the perfect zoning, as everyone hops in right now instantly. But the heavy spins push them all up towards one part. Brilliance used to pass well, but Akura deletes the Louis, though should be punished. But look at that sustain. Till the very last second, he was able to hold his ground down. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of the Rats.
Lokach started the fight off. I didn't really feel his plan. I didn't really like his plan. I felt like he went a little bit too late. But then he was kind of able to at least secure that last kill. He wasn't really the one securing it per se, but he was the one that committed the most to it. So it enabled the kill at all. Esor with that one kill. Akai not really that deadly with those resources. He will be just more tanky, but that's not really that big of a problem, because you should be fine. Lunox usually deals very easily with those tanks after she hits 3 or more items. So not really that big of a deal. The biggest part for Noctalis is not to fall too behind. As you mentioned before, their late game is super, super good. But before that, they need to be careful. We are looking at like 12 minutes-ish moment when they come online. If they can stand tall until then, have a spin.
Yeah, exactly. Instantly trying to hold their ground down as well. But again, you can look at the Lunox, though not the right target.
Lokach.
By OBJ. Exactly, with the AOG right now. Juzo is going to be running back to safety as Lokach wanted to take him down. But up top is where we had the 1v1. And as I said, you don't have an easy lane when it's VSS against a Harith.
I agree. That's on the money. You said it. It happened. Absolutely perfect prediction. Did you get the script for the game?
Did not actually. I'm just a big nerd in the game.
I see. Well, looks like Kabovski should learn a little bit from you, because this matchup is not going his way, but maybe the second turtle will go their way, because they are definitely trying to make it work. Half HP on Essor. This could be good.
Yeah. But look at it, instantly pushing down Akira all towards that bot, but the heavy spins is zoning all of them out as well. Oh, Red Tree did not come on time, and
got it.
Kabowski instead deletes him, though still. The Akai was able to get that turtle, a 1-for-0 trade, but for the turtle, I would still say Noctalis, they're the better end of this trade.
Yeah, Noctalis are better off because, yes, they didn't get the turtle, but they got a kill. And the thing is, they shouldn't be getting any. They should be scaling. They should be happy that they are happy. Oh, trade, aggressive play, 2v1.
Yeah, right now, the Esma is now trying to go on to the aggressive as Tonix wants to run away, wanted to get the tower, got that instantly, and even with the yo-yo blitz right now, he was just ready to push them all back. My goodness, the CC is annoying into that EXP lane though, but even more annoying is the brilliance, as this is a lovely bait setup with the heavy spins. Even better at the end though, still the falling star moon almost catching a Cura. But look at that HP, nah, not with the real world manipulation. Give that an epic outplay as this Eve just wins out the game.
Wins out the game, maybe a little bit overblown. Plays out a great fight. Yes, that's right on the money. But it wasn't just Sura who was able to make it happen. It was the rest of the team as well. But Mika...
Yeah, Mia, I think so. That's a bit tough for him. Needs to run away. Holy smokes. Oh, he still wanted to dash into the Summon Force to get another one, but almost is where he'll land in. Feather of Heaven, that's why I love that item as the first man. Just don't go for the Stallium side. Feather of Heaven is your way to go for those instant dashes and the speed, though just lacking in that slight bit of damage.
And let's hope that Noctalis won't be lacking damage for this upcoming turtle, because the last one they didn't get, and so far they are going right into any other team fight.
Yeah, right now again the brilliance being used up as well, as you've got the Lunox hopping all the way back for the glorious path. We're pushing two people away with the Esmeralda. You've got Akira being deleted instantly, and this is why I did not want to see an Esma pick in the hands of Noctalis, as they're just zoning everyone out. But guess what? Stonix doing the exact same thing on the other end. Mia Rain cannot do anything, as there's the heavy spin. They're trying to push away the Esma, but you've got Lokash instantly on the face of Mia, just forcing out the Salmon Force. The fight's been divided into different parts. One is where Stonix is doing his own thing, while the second part is where you've got Esmeralda doing her own thing. Rico's being hit up as well, as this fight still continues into a skirmish that's finally taken a pause.
But this looks so much better for Noctalis, since their heroes are right now going into another fight.
Oh, brilliance right at the very edge of the life. BJ will have to go back, for the RWM now popped in as well. There's no one in that area. You got Esmeralda always hopping on top of this Eve just to force her back right now. But Surzatu is going to be running over towards the tier 2. Lovely catch with the heavy spins. Rio Morden surviving this. Perfect burst as well from Stonix. All 5 people had a hand in the death of Lokaj.
Being locked next to a wall by Akai's heavy spin has to be top 3 most painful experiences in the whole MLBB. Probably the second is Natalia waiting in the bush to one-shot you, and I have to think about the third, but probably it's up there. It's in the top 3 for sure. But let's see if this Lord take will be disrupted.
It just bursted down. You asked if it's going to be disrupted. You saw the answer. Far from it. To being bursted before they could make their way and look the Lord in the eye. That's what the rats are saying to the snakes right now. You can't walk close to us right now with the falling star moon coming in. Instant heavy spins. Half HP gone like that. And Esmeralda being taken down by a Harith is not something we watch regularly. But you know what? I'm up for surprises. Curtains call into the back line as well with the yo-yo blades. But Stonix, all he can do is just zone out the enemies and hop back to his own safety.
The way Lokach just ran out of that fight and went straight for his orange buff without any care in the world for his teammate remind me of my last ranked game. Like, honestly, I know there was nothing he could have done, I agree, but it looked funny. AOG on top of their heads, not that funny though.
Yeah, you can say that he was not able to do anything, and that could be true even for this one fight. Instead, he bursted down like Zaz. Karzatu doesn't have anything as well, so we'll have to give up on this tier 2 up top. Down bottom, Stonix just trying to zone out Kabovsky. Oh, the curtains call is impeccable. The trade definitely was there thanks to the Mountain Shocker, but you've already dealt with the marksman on the other side. The one big thing is that it gave a humongous bounty to Noctalis.
That's true. But I'm not sure if it will be enough because they still need to hold on. Esther.
Oh, yeah, he ain't surviving there. I mean, this high loss has been absolutely massacred. Someone call PETA here because this is the high loss or a horse abuse up top. Still, the fight continues. Karzatu finally punishing out the Eve as well, who will have to now run back for his own life. As we've got Miaren hopping in here too. Man, show me some items because this is turning brutal.
You could even say it's turning brute force breastplate, huh?
You had to make that joke, right?
I mean, I see two of them.
That's a good one. I approve. I approve. With the type of jokes that I upload on my Instagram stories, I approve of that one.
Yuzo, luckily for him, decided to not venture into the upper bush. Could have been deadly, even though he's quite tanky, but it's kind of becoming the minute where it doesn't really matter if you're a tank or squishy, you get one shot anyway. And CC, they'll have a taste of that.
But that's not really the play is to your base. The curtains call, catching on to as well. Now you've got the Mountain Shocker, but if you want to try and stay alive, only 60 gold being offered by this Hylos is going 0, 8, and 2 as the Brilliance was popped up as well. Just to run back to safety, you do not recall on their faces. This fight is divided into 3 different parts as Kabowski cannot do anything but just wait and see his death approaching. The second one is down in the base. You've got one taken down. Norwegian will finally survive by the skin of his teeth. The HP is equal to what Stonix had there, but again the yo-yo blitz just giving him something more with the inhibitor falling up top. You've got the far lane control for Karkovsky.
The rats are right now on the rampage. It looks like maybe they inhaled some radioactivity. I don't know what really is happening to the rats, but they are stronger, they are bigger, so I don't know, someone put something in their food because those rats, they are dealing with the snakes very easily. But one thing to consider, yes,
I said that they're not normal rats, they're Jerry from Tom and Jerry.
Oh yeah, I would say that, but their opponents are not cats right now. AOG.
Yeah, big point out here. Stonix just going a little bit too ahead, biting a little bit more than he could chew. Eventually getting punished for that. Stonix cannot really face tank alone now. That is something that he needs to realize as well, especially with the Vengeance on cooldown. Oh, the inhib cleared by the last second.
No way, Scared. How is that inhib alive? This has to be like 5 HP at the most.
Yeah, it's probably down to the single digit. I agree. Just one poke of... Even the Gato could eventually take that down. Lord marching down up top. Skirzatu. All he needs to do is just stack up his shield during that fight. So that could be helpful. The only anti-heal we saw a while back was by Akura. I'm pretty sure you've got a dominant size. Oh, that's a misstep. That is a misstep. Esor... I'm pretty sure he didn't want to do it, but with that, I think so they'll have to go back, though. Hold on, Instead, he bursted down. This high loss is not doing good at all. And now Mia Rain, with all the shield in the world, is trying to get the crystal down as well, with a lot of minions up in front of you. Revitalize popped up as well by Juzo, as Kurzatu was left alone out of the wild. Minions cleared out, but you've got none in your own base, Ubije. In the middle of four, cannot do anything as you are not safe in your crystal. The brute force their way, and the rats take game number 1.
Hulk rats were able to chomp on the snakes and take it home, take the victory with them. Though still it's a BO3, a lot can happen. But I would love to pinpoint that the 24-8 is not really telling the full story, because I didn't really have time during the game, because a lot happened during the last couple of minutes, so there was no space for me to say that. But the goal difference wasn't really that big. You can see it on this screen, and if you compare each of the members to their respective opponents, you will come to a number that's not really that high. If you look at the kills, usually a team with 24 against 8 should be much further ahead than what they had. They had probably like 5,000, 4,000 even in one moment. So that gives big props to their opponents. Noctalis were holding on strong. Unfortunately, they were not able to transform the late game into a win condition. Before the late game hit them, the rats hit their base.
It just went down to the itemization, I'd have to say, right? You don't have a Chastus Pauldron against a Harith. Now that is a problem. Now this is the big reason why your EXP laner as well as you as the roamer need to try and talk about the fact how you're going to build into those items. You need almost all the passives up if in case you want to have that advantage, right? Now, yeah, you have the Radiant Armor, you also have the Dominant Size. Those are the standards that you want to build, but considering there's a CC and then there's also a Harith, I'm pretty sure, including the Akai with the heavy spins, you'd rather want to have at least a Dreadnought armor in your arsenal, just so you can sustain through or at least lower down the attack of the enemy. None of that was happening, and that is probably because we saw this kind of smooth sailing coming in from the rats on the other side, Karkovsky. And here's the big thing. You've got the blue side right now, so you may control the draft itself, but it's the in-game micros where I see rats having the advantage.
They had a couple of those. But at the same time, Noctalis, what really confused me about their gameplay was that they were going into the early fights, they were contesting the turtles, and it was going all right until that specific moment. I believe it was around the second turtle, correct me if I'm wrong, where they kind of went in, they burned their cooldowns, and then they went in again, and not really together. It was one at a time, and that's what broke their backs, because until then it was going kind of all right. Every fight they either got one kill for a turtle, or they got something out of that. They burned their cooldowns, then they kind of slowed down the snowball on the opposing side. But that one crucial fight, it skyrocketed their opponents, and they immediately went from like 800-ish gold to like 2,000. And from that, it got very much harder. So until that moment, they were doing all right.
And that's the snowball composition which we always talk about, right? If you let that happen to the other side, it becomes difficult, even if you've got a scaling composition, to hop back in the game itself. Because let's be honest, it is really crucial for even your roamers to make the item. But when that doesn't happen because you're lacking behind, even though your damage items are there for main damage dealers, your roamers are not able to tank all the way. And that sometimes ends up being the main difference maker in the game itself. So hopping back here right now, looking at the bans itself, Grok Yu Jong for Noctalis. On the other side,
I have
Freya
to say,
Jushin.
yeah, go on.
Nothing, just reading out the bans. Sora is still left open though.
He truly is. But what I wanted to mention is that compared to the other semifinals, I don't know if you notice or it's just me, but the bands are taking much more time. Those teams, both of them, are definitely taking their sweet time, thinking it all through, trying to analyze what's the best course of action. Because before, in the other semifinals, the bands were much quicker.
Yeah, and this time they're just, as you rightfully mentioned, taking their own sweet time because they want to read what the opponent is trying to do. Now, with the Kalia ban, you don't really read into a lot, but the idea that maybe you want to pick up the Eve along with the Gato just to have that kill box and not have any answer on the other side in the form of a Kalia. Because that becomes a straightforward counter of a Gato Kacha. You've got a Gato, you pick up a Kalia on the other side, you instantly Tsunami Slam the Gato to burst him down in a second, just to deny any kind of AOG plays. So, as I said, you might want to go in for a kill box composition of your own, so Noctalis looking to lock in the Eve.
It's kind of a repeat of the last draft, even though the sides are flipped. Yves again lock in as a first pick when Zhuxin is being banned. So let's see what will the answer be for sorry, not Noctalis, but Karkovsky Pasiki. Let's see how
Leo?
they will handle it.
I'm expecting a Leo mod.
Yeah, I think so too. But the mid lane is what I'm thinking about. Oh, all right. Did you expect yes on a shin? Because I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same thing. Not the Yisenshin and Gato, but alright. I think so.
So
That's a nice opening. You can lock in your mid laner for that third pick, depending on what the answer back is going to be from Noctalis. Now, since the Yisenshin has been picked up on the other side, you have to lock in the Leo right now.
I don't like
Otherwise,
it.
you're going to be hopping into an unfortunate jungle matchup, yeah?
I don't like it. You know why I don't like it? Because I think that Karkovsky Pasiki did this on purpose. Well, obviously they did, but I think there's a bigger plan behind that. Because if you look at the Eve and how she functions, Leomord, that's not really good synergy with Eve. Eve, she wants to drop it down and fight in one spot and use her RWM, whereas Leomord, he wants to chase. So with the red side locking in Yisunshin, they baited their opponents into going Leo, who is not really that good with Eve. I kinda like that.
Your team is banning.
And now you also ban out the high loss, just to deny any more of that real world manipulation slowdown effect. No glorious pathway available. So yeah, I'm kind of on board with you. The only good thing which I can see for Noctalis is the fact that you've got the Curtain's Call. So if you drop in the RWM, pop in the Curtain's Call, that's at least two people being held onto that one small space, which you can eventually burst down. And as much as I agree with Leo Mod not pairing up with Eve pretty well, there's one small way where I can see the Phantom Steed being dropped in the revolve manipulation,
True.
which can then get that pushback effect on the others when the Barbiel is running towards you. So
True.
that one small interaction could actually work out in their favor. But as I said, and I agree with you, it's a micro interaction. You don't have to push them away from the RWM. That could be a problem. The ban of the Hilda high loss, no early game presence for Noctalis whatsoever.
No, there is.
Khalid?
Oh, yes, there is Khalid. Because just think about it. As you mentioned, yes, there is this little bump, but think about Curtain Call combined with the Sandstorm of Khalid. That could be beautiful.
Bruh, you're gonna lock it in right away considering the Kimi is gonna be kiting around you a lot. Though technically I think so that is a good pick.
Also, you will be a menace in the early game. Your 2v2 should be alright.
Your team is picking.
Harith and the gold. I don't particularly like it. Claude banned out. I believe Noctalis is being forced into a carry pick here, but carry shouldn't work really well against the lineup that's there on the other side. If anything, I know you won't like it, but maybe go for an Ixia
No, I like Uranus.
or an Esma. Alright, Uranus is kind of the same with the idea, but I don't know, man. I think so. Uranus is going to be bursted down really quickly in the EXP lane.
I don't think so. Because statistically, if you have a lot of magic damage, which Karkovsky has, your team comp is very good at dealing with squishy heroes because magic defense is by the basic lesser than armor. So, if you are paired up against a lot of magic damage, you want to beef up your team comp, and that's exactly what Noctalis did. So I really like the approach in those last two picks. I think it's a great turnaround, and they could make it work. I'm not saying it will be easy, but I think it's a great fix to their draft.
That is definitely one way to look at it. And yeah, I agree. Can't really change a lot of things in those situations though, but yeah, here's the thing. There's a lot of burst squishy heroes on the other side. And with the Lucas being picked up in the hands of Stonix, he should be winning the lane against the Uranus. That's one thing. Oh,
Wait, he
interesting to see
will?
he's going with a flicker without the vengeance. Yeah, I mean, Uranus will have to get close. Lucas likes people whenever they try and get close to him because he can just auto attack them and then hop them on their face with the instant burst. But on the
But-
other side, you've got the CC who will be winning against the Harith. So that's one part of it as well. I'd have to say it's tough, but if Noctalis is allowed to scale up, then it's going to be difficult to deal with the amount of tankiness that they have. But again, if in case the snowball of the Kimi hops into play along with the Lucas, things are going to look troublesome for Noctalis themselves, ladies and gentlemen, as we hop in towards the land of Dawn. One more time, Karkovsky, Pasiki taking on Noctalis Esports, where Karkovsky have a 1-0 advantage. Can they turn it into a 2-0 and move to the grand finals? We'll find that out right now.
We will indeed. Of course, with that Bedank locked in, your 2v2 potential is not really that high. But what I wanted to say is that, yes, I see what you meant by Lucas being good into Uranus. Yes, he likes people up close. Skarzatu! Alright, it's working out.
See, as I said, he's going to be dealing a ton of damage to the other side as well. But Lucas has got a good healing too. But out here for the Litho Wanderer, you already had Karkovsky winning out that one. And look at the poke damage coming in from Akura. Instantly hopping away as well. One basic is all you needed. But Etta burning out the flicker to survive down bottom. Stonix.
Oh,
Man is running with a revitalize. He just bursts down Skurzatu. And I've got no clue why he hopped back in the fight.
And the thing is, he didn't even hop. If he hopped in, I would be like, alright, in one moment he thought it's playable, but he walked back into the death. That being Lucas.
And here's the thing. Look at the trade-offs of the spell. You've got two flickers baited out on the other side but in the hands of Ubija and Netta, while you've only used up the Revitalize for Juzo and Stonix. Revitalize will be off cooldown faster. So you'll not have those flickers available for this one turtle fight as well. But the Revitalize could eventually be used up if the turtle gets delayed for about 10 seconds. So Karkovsky are winning out in that macro game too.
Well, but they are not winning all over the place, because, for example, Lokach is much further in the XP department than Esor.
For now though, that's the thing.
Lucas.
Stonix, yeah, already into that form, now turns into the QB as well to try and fire up the Biju bomb onto their faces as well. And the enhanced basic attack is all he needs though, and Akura firing the missiles from the back is just sustaining through it all. Stonix will be shut down though, but not before he trades off Lokach on the other side. A jungle for the EXP. They take it every single day. The taunt comes in. 1-for-1. No, Kabowski survive by the skin of his teeth. As Ubij still is up and ready. Lovely retaliation from Noctalis.
Except that it was 5v4. And the whole time this Harid has been hitting this tower and he's been getting rich.
But if they get this turtle, I think so that's going to be really fine trade. Esor trying to hop in though, but he can't match the execution line from Lokach. So yeah, now Noctalis seems to be in a pretty comfy place.
Comfier than before, but I don't know if he caught that, but Mia is actually 500 gold ahead still, even after Bedang is there, not really securing anything, but even after the turtle pickup, he is still 500 ahead, so that means... Oh!
Big mountain shocker from Esor.
Kabowski!
Bursts him down, and look at up top, yeah, Kabowski's taken down too. And even if he survived by the Zaman force of Miarin, he would have been taken down by the AOG coming in. Karkovsky, Psiki, they're just taking this game by storm.
Their luck has run out. Because if you remember, Ether was able to survive by the skin of his teeth in the beginning of the game. He survived literally with... Locus? Locus?
Yeah, he's just trying to take the tower. There's the thing. All
But
the gold shield now
is-
for him. Stonix. He's got the Revitalize as well. I don't think so it's going to be a problem. It's just baiting Skrzatu there. Look at that. Revitalize used up as he realized that everyone else is hopping in as well. Lovely vision being provided by Juzo and Akura. And with that, both of them disengage.
I have to say, I didn't think Stonix had a plan. But he did.
That's my secret, Captain. I always have a plan.
And did he just build the cooldown shoes? The clown shoes?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Mia Rin.
Fight on the bottom side.
It could be a big one though, but again, it's Skrzatu right now being faced up with a bit of a problem with the Revitalize popped up as well.
AOG.
Should be okay. AOG catching on to one. The taunt comes in while you've got to walk back. But the Phantom Street as well. It's a bit too late. And look at the amount of burst. A 4v2, and that is as bad as it could get to BJ. That's not a position you'd want to be in. Akura survives too, but that could have been disastrous for you. Oh, hold on, Mia Rin. Yeah, that's what you do with the Harith. No vengeance available for Grabowski. He's running on that flicker, and Mia just utilizes that fact to burst him down.
She utilized that indeed. That Harith was able to secure the kill.
Third turtle. Right now, Karkovsky.
Ether.
But eventually take this one down as well. Lovely play again with a mountain shock. The burst Ether down onto that Badang is not able to land in even a single fist crack combination. And that is a problem. Right now builds up his first item, I believe, and that is a Thunderbelt. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. Real world manipulation used up just to clear out the wave. Look at the backline. Oh, Lokach. Instantly taken down right now. And you've got Stonix still trying to fight. Will be bursted. For a jungle for an EXP laner. In your words, Warren. Yarkovsky will take that every single day.
The rats are winning once more. I think I was right on the money with the Hulk rats. Those rats are not your normal rats that you find in your cellar, because they are much deadlier, and Ether could notice that once more if he face checked that. And he did. Mega kill for Esor.
He's just... Exactly. It doesn't even matter now for how long or wherever he stands. Look at that Revitalize. Brings back Miarin back to full HP. And now it is just turning out to be a disaster for Noctalis.
I think disaster could even be an understatement, because so far the gold lead hasn't been that high, but at this moment it's almost as high as the minute timer. Lokach I don't think you're getting out of this one. Oh, Badang. Nah, it's not enough.
It absolutely is not. It is tough. You rightfully mentioned. The fight still goes on up top as well. Utilizing the passive of the tower as well. Juicer should be taken down. Yeah, ran it a bit too deep there.
He has
But
the clown
doesn't matter.
shoes.
Yeah, he's just having fun. CDR.
RB
And
in
the
a
magic boots
circus.
as well. And that's not just for Stonix, but also for ESEL.
Yeah. Usually you would see either warrior boots or tough boots for that extra survivability, but they are here to fight. They are not here just to fight, they are here to destroy, and so far they've been quite successful in that. Let's see if they can keep it up. Honestly, with the goldie they have, even I could play it.
Now those magic boots actually give you that extra bit of cooldown reduction as well, and that I believe that is for ESEL to get his traceless back up as soon as possible. Also, probably for the mountain shocker too. So I like the idea, and the same thing could be said for Stonix as well, to get his ultimate up pretty soon, or maybe just that skill 1 so that he can burst down the enemies as quickly as possible. Considering they've already taken down the passive up top, this should be an easy tier 2 take in mid and bot while dealing a good amount of damage onto that top inhibitor as well. Noctalis just 23,000 gold right now totally for the team. It is not enough.
Let's try a different note. Let's try to... Alright, might be another fight. But let's try to talk win conditions for Noctalis. What can they do? What can they hope for happening for them to turn the tide of battle? Because
Big change.
I'm not quite sure.
I mean, just a big chain CC from Badang for the ball into the curtain's call, into the Barbiel, into the real world manipulation. That's all.
It will have to be one of the very crazy wombo combos that you see on TikTok. Because other than that, I don't think there's a lot of hope for Noctalis. So far, they could defend. They even have auras. AOG.
Whoa! 1v3 by Mia with the Feather of Heaven. That dude just completed a holy crystal and holy hell. Now we've got Stonix jumping into the tower itself. He'll eventually give his life away. But man, this could have been deadly for Noctalis. A bit of an overcommitment coming in from Karkovsky, but I said maybe they can do a good amount of damage on top inhibitor. They almost took it down, but maybe this is a shutdown. ESEL but a bit more than what he could chew. Now Mia Rin wants to answer back as well, trying to catch Kabowski, but he will be running back to safety. Akura free hitting everyone thanks to all that kiting coming in though, but that's about it. You will have to retreat back.
It is becoming more and more and more visible that playing Badang into heroes that have some dashes is not really an easy job. If you look over at the side of Karkovsky Pasiki, they literally have a dash on each of their heroes. Of course, each of them has kind of their way of dashing, but all of them have a dash. So really hard job for Aether, especially when he is the sole CC for his team. There is not really anything else. Yes, there is aforementioned CC, but she only has the curtain call, which sticks two people together, but it's not really the hard stun as we know it. It's not the Greg ultimate, it's not something like that. So for Badang to set it up, it has to be insane. He has to be in a bush.
That bombo combo is something which is tough to land as well, which you rightfully mentioned. Two fights happening, one up top, one down bottom. Kapowski is going to be bursted down by ESEL in a second, and this is just going to give a free lord to Karkovsky. Big play being made by the team as they take down this. It's a normal lord, not going to be a problem. But yeah, inhibs are going down with this for sure.
Hypothetically, they could have 7 more minutes before the improved lord spawns. Before that, of course, the question is, can they even defend it? Oh, this looks bad.
This looks really tough. They're being pushed back right in the mid lane itself. Skirzatu, for now, he's fine. Still has the revitalize available, but there we go. The Barbiel hops into the battlefield as well with the Zaman Force dropped in. Okura is kiting around everyone, and as soon as Lukacs joined the fight, he's been deleted in a second. Stonix is also there, just alive, looking at them menacingly. Lord marching from up top. He is gonna take his own sweet time, but not
Ooh.
the mid lane wave. Holy moly! Miarin went in a bit too aggressive, but Kabowski has got no way to clear this wave out. 4 seconds for the next wave to spawn. Crystal wide open, and everyone will just burst him down before they take the road to finals.
And rightfully so. They deserve it by every moment that they shown us here today in the semifinals. There wasn't a moment when I was like, it shouldn't be them. Every play they made, well, maybe Stonix diving in, but at the end he got the Holy Shield. I wanted to mention that I didn't have time for it, but he got the Holy Shield. So even though it looked kind of crazy, kind of overzealous, he got the Holy Shield, which enabled them to eventually have more pressure and eventually make that play happen. It's a little bit sad that Noctalis got kind of baited into exactly what Karkovsky Pasiki wanted from them, because they needed them to take the fight. If Noctalis didn't take it and just stood back and maybe dropped RWM for wave clear and that's it, and they waited for the base crystal and defended that, we could have been looking at a little bit longer game. I'm not saying they would 100% come back, but would have been a longer game. That's not the story. That's not what happened. So unfortunately, because of that, we are looking at Noctalis being outed right now and through the semifinals, into the finals. It is the Rats, the monstrous Rats.
Karkovsky.
They will be matched up against you next. We have some familiar faces. We didn't really mention it that much, but we have some familiar faces in you next, namely Lager, a guy I really grown to like, especially during the last year when I saw him play on a couple of tournaments, actually a lot of tournaments. And I'm happy. I'm happy for his resurgence. So I am really happy to be here casting it with you today, because he's a decent player and I'm ready for him to show me more of that good jungle gameplay. The question is he good enough to take on Karkovsky Pasiki? Because they look like a powerhouse themselves.
They definitely do, and in order to answer your question, Warren, you will have to wait 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, before the grand finals best of 3 begin. We're going to be hopping on to a short break of 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're hopping into the grand finals itself of the ESEL mlbb tournament. We've got the Fast Cup since it's a Sunday evening. We're already hopping into that grand finals where Unix will be taking on Karkovsky Paseki. This grand final is going to be even more amazing, but as it's the second appearance for Unix, and the first one for Karkovsky. Kind of like me, right? I'm having my second appearance in the Fast Cup as well. So I'm like you next. While you're having your first appearance here in the Fast Cup, so you're like Karkovsky, Paseki, Warren.
Well, even though this is a lovely theory, unfortunately, it's my second time here, so I broke your idea completely.
In the
I was
Fast Cup,
actually
it's your first time.
no. I was here.
Hey, you've
I
been
was
here
here
as
with
well?
Mio. I was here with Mio like 2 weeks ago. So, unfortunately, great idea, great theory. I loved every second of it, but it's wrong. Well, let's hope that the gameplay we will see, and especially the draft, will be right for both sides. Because, as you love to say, 60% of the game is the draft.
Exactly. That's the best part about it. Especially for me, who's pretty nerdy about all of this stuff, right? I'm kind of going to enjoy it. But here we go. Soli, Yukasa, Miko, Painkiller, and Lager. We've got you next onto the blue side, ladies and gentlemen, and Karkovsky Paseki on towards that red side in this drafting phase. Eve Ban. Good study. I believe you next have understood the assignment. They know that they don't like to pick the Eve, they want to prioritize Freya and stuff like that, and they don't want to give the Eve away. So instantly banning it out.
Maybe they could have banned Juxin and kind of baited their opponents into banning Eve. Maybe. But at the same time, they would be shooting themselves in the leg if they want to play Juxin. You mentioned Freya. Off she goes. So, unfortunately, she won't be played by Sully.
You are on the blue side, so you can dictate the draft as well, right? In the early few days, we also saw some of the Valentina bans by the blue team, just to force out a Sora ban on the other side, and then you can maybe dictate the draft according to your pace, if the other side is answering back.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be the idea of you next year. Grok.
Yes, on
Nice.
Shin.
Fair.
What are we expecting for the second ban? Do we have idea? All right, locked and loaded. Bim bom.
But this, I remember a song. I'll tell you about it later. Jushin, Freya, standard bans on the red side. Now it's entirely you next. Leo mod is a prio jungle right now available. So you can try and technically ban out a Valiant to force a Sora ban and then pick a Leo mod. Or maybe you can ban out a Kalia and then can threaten a Gato pick.
Well. So many options to choose from. It's almost as there are none. There's too many to choose from. Well, it's easy in the end. So with Yesenshin banned, because I wanted to make a point that maybe they're going for Yesenshin Gold. That's not happening because he has been banned by themselves. So other than that, why would they go for a CC ban? She's not really that contested. What do you think it's telling us? Is it kind of a throwaway ban and they didn't really want to ban anything else? Or what do you see behind it?
Stonix picked up a CC in one of the previous games and he played really good. So just to deny that.
Target ban.
Kind of. And you can also pick up the Yu Zhong. You'll not be having a problem in the EXP lane as well once the CC has been taken care of. So that's that.
I would really... Ooh. Well, my thoughts get thrown by from the window because I wanted to say Yuzong would be really nice pick, especially with that CC ban, but it's a Grok after all. Well, I'm a little bit worried because I feel like that Karkovsky Pasiki have such a crazy pickup. Leo with a Yuzong on top of that. But they don't look like it. They are thinking
I
about
was about
Kimi.
to say the same. Yeah, I was about to say the same. The Leo Yujong looks really good here. They're gonna lock in the Leo, considering he's the only good jungler left after the banning of Yisun Shin right now. But the second one is something which they want to play around with. I, I think so. Both could be good, be it a Kimi or be it a Yujong.
Your team
All right.
is picking.
It's a Kimi. I mean, good synergy with Leomord. But with this pickup of Kimi, I would really like for Unix to build an explosive team comp that wants to play the fights under 5 seconds, because it would work so good for them and so bad for their enemies. Because Leo, he likes drawn out fights, Kimi the same. They don't really accept. Oh yes, Claude, perfect. They are reading my mind. Now pick something explosive on top of that already. All right.
Nice pick of Fred already. You want the explosiveness. With a bonk, I'm pretty sure you're going to be happy. But here's the thing. It becomes really tough for the Fred to actually cast the Kimi. So you need something else in the EXP lane that can threaten Kimi. A Yuzhong would normally be a good shout, but this could be a really nice Yuzhong pick for Karkovsky Siki themselves.
That's one thing. And I think even, yeah, Lapu and they ban Yuzong. That's it. Yuzong is not getting through. I said no betting, but I'm betting my boots on that. No Yuzong. He's not getting through. Yeah, he's gone. I can keep my shoes.
It is understandable, but I think so. A better thing would have been to pick up the Yuzhong and then ban out the Lapu Lapu, because now you've got two ways to cancel out the blazing duet of Suli. If anything, you force out the Purify and then let your roamer finish up the job of taking care of him. Because you don't have anything to stop the blazing duet right now. So if it's a tectonic charge into the taunt coming in from Lagger, then Suli will have the free time of his life to burst down your backline. And they can also ban out the carry right now.
Go on.
Yeah, and you can also ban out the carry right now to destroy any competition in the gold lane.
It's hurried. They saw, they like him. Makes a lot of sense. They've been successful on him. Didn't Mia pick him back to back in both of the games? He did, right?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, he did. So they've come prepared. They were in the stream watching. Good preparation so far. What I wanted to say is that about the second ban, Kalia, does she disrupt or interrupt the blazing duet when she grabs?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, she
does.
she
Okay,
does.
okay.
Entirely stops it.
I wasn't sure if it's just reposition or if it's CC together with it.
It's a full-fledged crowd control.
Yeah. Well, then I would really like it, because he would need to burn that Puri, and then Lapu Lapu could make short work of him.
I don't know, man, because again, if you use up the tsunami slam to just bait out a purify of Suli, then you've kind of played into the Claude's hand itself. Just saying, because Tonix would then need to jump on the mage of the other side, which could right now be a Zacian, considering you kind of need that range to poke out the Kimi herself. The Gato being banned out, fair, but this kind of sets things up for Kalia.
Yeah, you see? You were hating, and now you like it. On the note of Kalia, I'm still waiting for her to be meta in XP. I think it will be a lot of fun. War X Kalia, something like that.
No.
Don't do Kaja.
XP. Actually, I'm kinda okay with Kaja as well.
Are you? Isn't she so easy to purify?
No, the divine judgment is actually a suppression, so you can't purify that.
But if you press purify before it, you cancel it, right?
Nope. Nope.
You don't?
You still get suppressed. You fully get suppressed.
Ooh,
It's just like the
okay.
Franco's ultimate.
Ah. Because I
You get
thought,
controlled.
that if you press it prematurely, that you cancel it still. All right.
That doesn't happen. It used to happen previously, but then it was removed.
I
The
see.
shadow update there. And
I
right
see.
now, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not going to lock in the god, right? Surely, Yukasa, you're not going to play the
I mean, he has a nice
Surely.
skin. Scared.
It's a tournament lobby. Everyone has got that nice skin.
But he has a nice skin, Scared. Yeah, and he's locking in. Look at this guy. He is playing in the finals of FastCup for, what's the price pool? $200 we have, right?
That's pretty nice price pool, I'd have to say. But here's the thing. Now you basically become a standing target for both Stonix as well as ESEL. And it is going to be difficult to deal with both of them. Considering Juzo is just going to hold his ground down to save the life of a Cura and carry if Miarin actually goes for it. Because that Divine Judgment is just going to hop in on Suli, no one else. So it is difficult for your Casa to survive.
I don't know if something like that, which I'm going to mention, exists. But if it does, play damage Uranus. Or like more damage Uranus and less tank Uranus. Because if I'm looking at the team comp that they have, with that Uranus being locked in, I think they don't have damage. Because Lapu, he's going to sustain crazily. And Leo, the same problem. And Kimi, she loves to go for that extra spell vamp through her items. So she's not really one of those targets that you can kill that easily as other mid laners. So I'm not really sure about that Uranus. What are your thoughts, Scared, when you see the draft, when you see the composition? Who's more probable to take the first game of the finals home and already establish themselves as the dominant force in this clash?
It totally depends on itemization, what we're gonna have out there, but the win condition is clear cut straight up. Juzo sets his team up for success with the Divine Judgment, and then you got Stonix and Assault jumping onto Yukasa on that god, while Unix will try to play in for the re-engage with Painkiller with the tech charge, and Miko will try to out-sustain everyone against the side of Karkovsky Pasi. Ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping into the grand finals, best of 3 of the FastCup of the ESEL mlbb out here right now. It's game number 1.
It truly is. Some walls being thrown, Painkiller able to do his deed, slow down their minions, so it's easier those early levels. They didn't really want. Kaja wants a lot of smoke going in.
Just wants to try and maybe catch in someone, but all that
Sura.
is happening. Oh, interesting to see that Esor, even though on Leo mod, was not really able to get that Litho Wanderer. Interesting. Stolen away by Lagger. Now that is going to help him out rotate faster when he's moving in that river. It's a slight bit of play, but that slight bit of thing could actually have a butterfly effect on the entire game itself. Faster rotation for Karkovsky. They're able to clear out the mid lane faster.
Lagger is surprisingly keeping up the pace, if not just keeping up the pace, honestly even being ahead a little bit. I think, alright, maybe this last camp will change it, but I think Lagger should be, yes, he's the first level 4.
SR is not that far behind, but the fight continues up top.
But it starts in mid lane, immediately taunt it up and execute it.
Big first blood coming in from Unix. And with that one play, I'm pretty sure that they've also gained the control of this river itself as the turtle right now spawns. SR is there. It's going to be running in, ready to maybe take this fight.
And they are initiating Mako, down going through Azor. He doesn't steal that because Retry is right on point. Yukasa, triple kill for you next. In the meantime, Stonix able to clutch out one of the kills, but it's on a roamer. Not really that great. But yes, you have something in retaliation.
It's just a consolation for now for Unix. Again, if you're looking at that late game, right, it's a trinity of Claude up against the magic burst of Miaran on the Nathan. I mean, in terms of that 1v1 burst, I think so I'm going to rely more on Mia Ren because Nathan has got more burst damage. But
Yeah.
if Suli gets ahead, which he is right now, I am pretty sure Mia Ren will not be able to scale up that quickly. And then Blazing Duet becomes a problem.
Also, there should be a big topic that we should talk about in this comparison, and that is team fights. Team fights, they definitely go into the hands of Sully. His team fight potential is much higher than Nathan's. Don't get me wrong, Nathan very good in team fights as well as probably any other marksman is. But Claude, his Blazing Duet, that's a hard spell to beat. Probably only beatable by likes of Ixia or someone like that.
Whoa, look at that timer right now. 3 minutes 30 seconds in, and he's already secured the Demon Hunter sword early on.
He does.
That's fast farming.
He's ready to hunt some demons.
I wanted to see if there's going to be a play in the mid though, but Juicer is just getting poked down instantly. He needs to make a couple of healing necklace as well so that he can get some extra HP regen. But again, if you try and go for that, it's going to delay your own items in the farm. Mid lane
Sword?
controlled and cleared, and yeah, look at the bottom side.
Stonix, don't do it, Stonix. He has to use Brave Fighter defensively, a lane shaker on top of their heads, but he needs to use Raging Slash just to survive. That's one ultimate off for Karkovsky. They need to think if they really want to take this fight.
Yeah, all they can do is maybe try and steal.
But they decided against it. They go for it, but Esor almost getting bursted down, and now Pankier leading the charge. Yuzo gets caught off, and Turtle has been completed already. It's gone, it's done, it's dusted. You next are looking death in the eyes of Karkovsky. They are saying, read our name.
You next is what they say, as you rightfully mentioned. And look at that. They don't even want to let SR recall. Holy smokes, that is absolutely annoying. And they steal away the purple buff too, while leaving the small camp, delaying the farm of Karkovsky Pasiki even further. It's already 5 minutes into the game, and Asor hasn't even got the Vorax right now. And that is when he does not have boots. You can't be any more behind in that farm. Yes, the gold lead seems only 2,000. But on this scale, in less than 6 minutes into the game, this could snowball out of control very quickly.
Oof. And just as you mentioned it, Yukasa looking at that stun on top of Sura, who doesn't have Petri. Sorry, not Petri, Purify. So, if this keeps happening, he will eventually die from one shot. We were laughing about, no, we are not laughing at all because Yuzo has been dealt with. Of course, if you are a fan of Unix, you're probably laughing right now. That's true. But what I wanted to say is, I was questioning the guard pick. You were questioning the guard pick. But look at the guard pick. It's carrying their team.
I kind of want to wait for a few more seconds, right, before Stonix joins in the fight. He's been forced.
Esor might be forced to die again. No, he destroyed their carry. He didn't even hesitate. He destroyed the marksman. He got one shot, one tap. But the same has been done to Esor. And now Miarin needs to run. I'm not even sure from who the damage came from. Was it Esor? Was it Miarin?
Yukasa. I mean, onto Suli, it was all the damage of Esor. But once Esor was in his own tower fighting for his life, the main damage came in from Yukasa. Oh, what a
will make a quick work of Miarin, and he is the most annoying Uranus. As we know them suppressed, so maybe, nah, Consecration gives him a life, and it was just a bait. Sura needs to flicker out of harm's way, and there is Yuzo needing to flicker as well. But Stonix, he is keeping the team afloat, if you could say that, because yes, they are bleeding, 2,000 gold difference, but Stonix, he is there as the stone his name sounds like.
I'm telling you, man, he just beat a Claude 1v1 with the Demon Hunter Sword and a Golden Staff. With just a War Axe. and a Fury Hammer. Ares belt, yes, to get that extra bit of HP, but man, this man is going all gung-ho, relying only on his enhanced skill to just for that extra bit of tankiness and the damage reduction, which you really call it. He's, as you rightfully mentioned, the only man who's carrying Karkovsky Pasiki right now. I doubted that Lapu Lapu, but guess what? If you can win a 1v1 against Suli like that, sure, go ahead. All you need to do is just shut down Yukasa once and get that bounty in your back pockets.
And that's the big problem if you're not rocking that Purify on Claude, because that can happen very easily. You need to keep in mind that you have one dash, but if you waste it, you don't have that flicker on. Well, Landshaker, that's gonna hurt. And if we know something about matchup Uranus and Lapu Lapu, if Lapu is actively fighting Uranus, that's a strong Lapu. And he is right now doing just that. He doesn't have a care in the world. The problem is he didn't really join his team that much. And if he refuses to do that, yes, he will still be a powerhouse on the sideline, but he needs to be in those fights. He needs to destroy Suli. He needs to destroy Yukasa. If he can do that, we might be looking at a turnaround, because it's just 2000 and that could disappear.
I agree, and you rightfully mentioned that the lead has not really snowballed into anything. It still is kind of stagnant, and Okura has not died once. He's still standing strong, so the Skimmy has been kiting pretty well though. The only disadvantage that they really have is in terms of levels, where Lager is level 12, while SR just level 10, but Stonix is trying to catch up.
Yuzo with a suppress, but I don't know. Stonix is there, burns the flickers, but Landshaker on the front line, trying to re-engage. I mean, disengage with Raging Slash now. It's not an... It is? Is it? I'm not even sure. But for a second, I thought he would laugh. Stonix, beautiful performance, but at the same time, his team wasn't quite there.
My guy just tried to sustain for as long as possible, but it did not really matter. His team did not have the damage, which you rightfully mentioned. Mia Ren right now is still struggling for those items. I want to have the itemization. I want to see those items real quick, just to make sure how much Karkovsky really have got in their place. 33k gold mark and then 43,000 gold mark. These are the two main points which you really want to see. You next are almost going to reach the first one. Maybe with the lot that they've taken right now, they would be able to push up towards the tier 2s, taking the tier 1s down, and then could work out with their snowball. Divine Glaive completed by Miarin, so that is a bit of a relief.
Well, it is, until you look what is Claude packing. He has the Volt Trinity, and this Tectonic Charge pops on 3, and Miarin needs to run, but unfortunately it's too late because he's dead on the floor. Yuzo next target is Stonix. He can only look with his eyes as his team falls apart around him. Stonix, the only man standing, trying to keep the dream of winning this first game alive.
Few more seconds for the rest of the players to show up. The Holy Shield is there, so it will help them to defend. But as you rightfully mentioned, he's the only one who's trying to keep his team alive right now. Lord is going to be marching down in full HP down bot. Rest of the people will spawn in, so that's on time. But yeah, it's looking pretty tough for Karkovsky Pasiki. The late game scaling by Unix is really good.
It is. Usually true damage, very problematic, and right now this fight could be really problematic. SR, I don't think you want to chase that SR. Ride with your horse to safety.
We haven't even seen a proper Divine Judgment by Juzo right now. Not even on Yukasa or Suli. And fun fact, Suli is running with the Flicker, not even a Purify. So all you need to do is just literally Divine Judgment that dude, and he cannot do anything. But that ain't happening. You got no one to peel for your team. If you really want Stonix to go for the peel, he's only running it on a Queen's Wings. That is again a bit more towards the attacking item with a utility rather than a proper defense. So Suli with the Malefic gun now will actually burst down Stonix way too quickly. Not a Chastis Pauldron in sight.
Also, from all of Lapu Lapu players' experience, we hate to see Malefic guns on the on the marksmans, because then it's even harder to hit them, because they are not really putting themselves in that much danger, and they are not as close to Lapu as he would like to. Because I believe it might not be true for what Sully is playing, that being Claude, but for a lot of heroes, the Malefic gun is the deciding factor of Landshaker either reaching you or not reaching you barely.
Yeah, that slight bit of advantage in the range, it helps you out a lot. Akura as well now is going to face a lot of trouble, considering Sule will be fighting off the range of those basic attacks. Easy zone coming in from by Miku. No one have got enough damage to burst him down right now. I want to see the items of Miarin one more time. Kind of missed out on him. I'm pretty sure he completed the Divine Glaive a while back. It depends if he's got the Holy Crystal right now, and now is the answer. He's building onto it right now. Feather of Heaven, Concentrated Energy, Divine Glaive. So no straight up burst. And as we were talking about it, not a single Justice Pauldron from the side of Karkovsky, while we can see one being made up by Unix already.
Stonix needing to burn his bravest fighter just before the fight starts. There's Yuzo. He didn't even use the Divine Judgment. He didn't even flicker. He just stood there and died. I am a little bit scared that this will be the end of this game, because Astor, Sura, and Stonix, I don't know if they have what it takes. Sully got destroyed in their enemy base, so maybe I spoke too soon, because now it's 3v4. Sura will try to make do. He will try to defend. Minion has been taken care of almost, but there is more minions. There are more minions, and Landshaker will try to keep it away. Raging Slash for that back line, getting shielded up, try to keep the dream alive. Horse going in, driving in on that Empower. The Lord has been almost dealt with. There is not Nathan yet. I don't know if you can do it. Half HP base Crystal. Yuzo going for the back.
Oh!
Yukasa barely surviving. Flicker wasn't enough of range, but Sura, he is alive. The dream is alive. Lager trying to go. CC Immune. Miarin keeping himself alive. Dashing around. Doing a lot of damage. Dealing with Painkiller. And now Mako will finish him off. And now that you have dealt with Miarin, you don't have that much damage, but luckily there was Sura, there was Esor, and this base crystal is still standing firm.
Right on the nice edge is how you have to say. Justice Pauldron picked at the right moment for Juso, helping him sustain for a little bit longer with the Ring of Punishment. And then you also had Miarin hopping up, instantly bursting down Painkiller. With that Holy Crystal Divine Glaive combination, that's what you needed. Karkovsky Pasiki have hit their power spike. Winter Crown play by Suli, which he made individually, you could say was pretty good for this individual style play, but was not really good team play, because his rest of the team were busy taking down the inhibitors. And now once you do not have the Claude in towards that last fight, while there is still a Kimmy on the other end, you know you'd not be able to burst down through that base so easily. Lovely play by Karkovsky Pasiki. Good punish onto a slight bit of mistake, and on the back of it now, they can bring themselves back.
They will try to do so. But what does last fight shown us all, the viewers and me and you, and what it should have shown to Karkovsky as well, is that if Claude is gone, Unix is kinda playable. Yes, there is still Yukasa, but you can deal with Yukasa. He has only one laser. He cannot hit more than in a straight line. You can dodge that. Maybe it will catch one. Maybe it will catch two, but the rest, they are fine. With Claude, that's a different story. Stonix. Oh, he got face checked on traction pull, and he initiates back in. Landshaker on top of their heads, and Liger gets destroyed immediately before he could even think about using the Prize of Wrath.
Underestimated the damage of the Nathan along with the Kimmy, even though you've got the Radiant Armor, so that is tough. But you at least burnt down the Flicker as well as the Bravest Fighter of Stonix, which is up by the way. So again, one good Divine Judgment by Juso, and Miko would also fall instantly. So you've got to be very, very careful at this point. It is dangerous grass, so Karkovsky, Pasiki are just going to utilize every single one of them. And they're not giving up at this point. They do not want to throw this game away. Suli picking up the rose gold meteor as well. Miko builds up the
There's a
immortality.
fight
Look at down
happening.
bot.
There's a fight happening, but maybe a little bit too deep as Sally needs to use his Winter Crown and gets destroyed anyway, because this is no more the 3 minutes it was ago. Right now the game is completely different. Right now Stonix and the rest of Karkovsky pack much bigger punch. They got buffed, they went into the gym, and those Hulk rats are even bigger. It looks like they might be even on steroids.
At this point, yeah, they're just 5 beefy dudes just taking the fight against you next, or taking that fight to them. Mia Rin, this is what I always talk about. Nathan in the late game is one of the most deadly marksmen. Even if there's a Claude on the other side, yeah, I don't think so he's a good match for it. Maybe a carry, but only a carry. And please don't talk about Alayla.
Well, right now Rose Gold Meteor being picked up for Miarin, so he will be kept a little bit more safe. Sully, I think he wasted a lot of gold. I'm not even sure if he swapped. I think he's out of gold, because I didn't see that swap happening, so I think he's still sitting on Rose Gold. He needs to pick up gold somewhere. He's trying to clear the jungle to at least get some gold for those swaps. But I'm not sure if he can get it. 30 seconds? How much gold can you really get in 30 seconds? That's not really a big window. And if I saw correctly, Sura picking up Demon Hunter Sword?
Yeah, Okura with the Demon Hunter Sword is unique. I mean, Wishing Lantern? Maybe? That could have been a bit more better. It could have been a lot better. Well, so I'm not a big fan of this item, but you know what? Who am I to judge? Wishing Lantern has been logged in by Mia Rin, so no boots for him. Not even a Wind of Nature. I like the ballsy play. That's like putting all of your eggs in one basket there. Lord Dance going on, but a good poke on Painkiller.
Azor trying to duke it out with the Stone Man himself, but Painkiller is firmly holding this bush, and he even burnt Azor's ultimate, so that's no more available. I don't know how big of a cooldown it should be at this moment of the game. Yes, he has it back on, but it looks like Karkovsky are giving up on the hope of getting the Lord. By the way, on the note of swap items, Suli has a Winter Crown, and he also has a Rose Gold. He sold his shoes for that. So that makes a lot more sense. So he's sitting on those 2 items. They should be online in the next fight. So they need to keep that in mind. If he is not deleted, which could only happen with Yuzo and Stonix flickering on top of him, on top of each other, and deleting him in that suppress into Laneshaker or Laneshaker into suppress, they will have a lot of trouble, because Sully will take a lot to take down.
If anything, Juzo needs to make a play. Right here, right now. There is no other way here. Now on bottom is going to be handled down by Leomord. So this is where the fight begins.
Claude with a 1v1 against Leomord, and in the meantime, Base Crystal is being hit. There is Stone going through. Yuzo burned up his Flicker. Flicker's no more available on the right side. They soar for 1v1 against Sully. He's been successful in that. How did that madman do that? How could have Claude lost against Essor in the late game? Leomord, yes, he's a big man with a big horse, with a big spear. I mean, lance, and he does a lot of damage, but Claude should not be losing against Leo in a 1v1. Lager will try to make do, but he is not saving this very, very successful fight for Karkovsky Pasiki.
609 onto that god. Yukasa is doing everything he can to try and make his team sustain, while Lager with 219 is also doing the same thing. Winter Crown purchased again by Suli. I'm not quite sure as to what he's trying to do right now, but things are difficult.
Lager getting caught, getting suppressed, and Lager
Big!
has been mega killed by Surant. You were laughing about the Demon Hunter Sword, but are you laughing now, scared?
I mean, I don't know, man. I think so. I personally feel that it actually is Mia Rin with all of the burst damage. I'll be brutally honest with you. But yeah, Okura also has got a nice punch thanks to the Divine Glaive along with the Holy Crystal coming into the mix. So yeah, maybe the Demon Hunter Sword is also doing a pretty solid job onto those basic attacks. So I mean, I'm gonna try and maybe build it up on the Kimmy if ever she goes into the gold lane in my hands. But on the other side of the spectrum. Now, again, problems coming in. Suli is not being present in those team fights. He's playing individual game, and that individual game is being punished by Karkovsky Pasiki.
If he was a Nathan, yeah, maybe play individual. Sora, he has the Vision Lantern now, so let's see if that changes. But as Sora almost getting bursted, Immortality being popped now into Winter Crown. The swaps are happening, but he gets picked off. Godlike Yukasa with no single death. And there is a big spin, big damage, but it's not enough as Stonix jumps on their heads and he leads the charge. There is Sora dealing a lot of damage. He needs to flicker out of harm's way, immobilizing them to keep himself alive. Painkiller leading the charge and forcing Karkovsky out of the jungle.
And that Lord was secured by Juzo, by the way, with the Ring of Punishment. That is big. The Retrieve was not available for Laggy in that exact moment. I believe it was, but maybe he just missed out onto the memo there. Winter Crowns being picked up. Athena's Shield being taken by Suli. Interesting swap of the item, just to try and survive through the burst of Mia and Akura, but he doesn't really need to do that. He's got 3 frontliners for him. Painkiller, Miko, Lagger, all of them are gonna dive on the other side. All he needs to do is find a nice timing with the Claude. He's having the problems right now. But again, since Karkovsky lost Esor in that fight, they did not really do anything with this Lord but delay this game even further. 24 minutes in already and counting, one more on the clock because the Lord is away for 75.
I mean, you can probably add even 2 more towards that, because I'm not really sure if in 1 minute either of the teams could finish, because I don't believe you can take Lord and immediately go for it. He spawns after like 20-ish seconds, so there will still be some time. Winter Crown being picked up for 1 member of Karkovsky. Did you catch that? Who was it? Was it Miarin?
Could have been one of the two, maybe even Juzo. We'll have to, I kind of want to have a look at the items right now, as you again pointed out about it, since we do not have anything else.
Yuzo, don't do it.
You won't, that's fine. Why is he taking so much damage just from a god? The poke is insane.
I think he has full armor. That has to be it, right? He has Guardian. Oh, he has Guardian helmet. And I believe the damage that we saw had to be Vision Lantern.
Along with the Divine Blade, probably. I don't think so. Juzo has got Radiant armor with him.
Yeah, I don't think so. Doesn't look like it.
4 seconds for the Lord. At least the far lane is 50-50 for now.
Sor, you cannot get caught like that. Legendary Yukasa with very unorthodox pick. He's showing us that it doesn't matter that he is playing Gord, something you might not see that much in your competition games, but he can play it well.
Evolved Lord now. Already ready for Unix to pick this one up. No retribution on the other side, so all you can do is maybe just take your own buff and get ready with the maximum amount of buffs to try and fight this evolution. 58 seconds onto the clock. 35 more for Esor to hop back in this fight. I think so he would be back up once the Lord is marching towards his base. It takes 30 seconds for the Lord to march from the side lanes. 15 once he's walking down mid. So Esor is out for the next 20 seconds. The minions are in the mid. No one is clearing that. They will have to sync it up to perfection. But again, bottom lane is going to be delayed thanks to one cannon. Top is going to be cleared up as well. So not a single wave synced up. 5 more seconds for Esor to hop in. This defense could be difficult.
I don't know if he can spawn in time. Miarin already getting bursted down. He was able to get immortality, being kept alive for a bit, but not enough. And now you are missing 1 member. Can Stonix change the tide of battle? I'm not quite sure. He's getting bursted himself. Base Crystal being targeted because they know they don't need to kill all of them. They just need to kill enough of them to kill and destroy the Base Crystal.
Oh my god, this one game drained out both these teams to the very last edge of their stamina. But at the end, it is indeed a victory. Yukasa did not die a single time in that game. Holy smokes. And what the heck is that build for Stonix?
He wanted to do damage. I see nothing wrong with that. I would build that too. Scared, come on.
No, I mean,
You don't like it?
absolutely not. I mean, Rose Gold Meteor, understandable, it could be the swap item for the immortality, but the Malefic Roar? You are not bursting down the tank. You're bursting down Yukasa. That is where the main problem was. Miarin and Akura both were being targeted by the enemy XP laner. That was the Uranus, while you were not targeting the god, and that's why Yukasa was just free hitting everyone from that backline. You can't really have the Kaja always going in for the god, because then you've also got to protect your own backline, that is Miarin and the Kimi. So it was kind of tough for them to maybe just go for that. So yeah, addition of a blade armor and a radiant armor is something that I was really looking forward to from him, but both of those items were not there.
I agree. And I love the fact that you mentioned that, yes, Yukasa positioned well. He played very, very well on top of that. But it was also the lack of pressure on him. For example, if we would compare that to the semifinals, to the second semifinals, where Forza has been always pressured. She couldn't ever ult, and whenever she ulted, it was like 1-2 shots max and immediately into a stun. Yukasa, he was kind of chilling. He was slurping some smoothies, getting tanned on the beach. There was no pressure on him.
To be honest, the only reason why that game went in way too long was because Suli was dying multiple times in those fights. The only time when he was
Yeah.
left alive was when they actually went in for that Evolve Lord. And guess what? For a 25-minute game, yeah, SR being picked up like that was the worst thing that could have happened, and that ended up resulting into that loss for them. So that is something which they will definitely have in their mind and maybe would want to work on for the next one. But ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the draft of this one, best of three, it's the grand finals. You next 1-0 already up. Karkovsky, Pasiki are now trailing, and the only way for them to make this comeback is by winning this one as well as the next. So it's a do or die for the boys there. And as we have a look at the bans, Freya, Sora, what could be the next one? That's the question. Jushin on one side, maybe ban out the Baxia or a Grok.
As you mentioned, you next on the match point. Of course, match point doesn't really have the rank to it if it's not BO5 or more, but it is a match point indeed. Yves being banned out together with Juxin. Alright, so we have that pattern where if you ban Juxin, you kind of want to ban Yves because she could play decently well into her, but if you don't have that option, you don't want to give that idea to your opponents.
You also have the Zetian available. Maybe you can try and prioritize that. She ranges up really well, has got a good poke, and the late game burst is annoying. So yeah, it is a Grog ban right now coming in from the side of Karkovsky Pasiki. Interesting choice again. Not really wanting to pick him up. So this kind of gives in the idea that they maybe want to go in for either a Yisun Shin or maybe locking in a Kimi.
Your team is picking.
Are we feeling? Yeah, I think since mid lane pool has been attacked so hard, I think Kimi first pick would be very, very smart because Leo Mort can be hand shook for. All right, you go for Yisun Shin. I just wanted to say that Leo Mort could be hand shook for Yisun Shin. You know, you could do that trade because right now you kind of enabled your opponents to just go Leo and pick even Kimi on top of that or whatever they like. So I'm not really a fan of this idea. Are you? Are you scared?
I mean, we'll have to see, right? Yeah, I think so. Maybe going for a Leo and a Gato. Go for a bit of an extra dive onto the Ascension, or maybe a Leo Hilda.
Or just look in the Yuzong CC's band. You ban it yourself. Yes, it's the Leo, it's the Yuzong. It's what I mentioned in the last game. This, if your opponents let you do that, and you don't pick it up, you deserve to lose. This is gorgeous.
Good opening, full-fledged dive. Things are gonna look tougher, SR on the East and Shin. I think so. This could potentially be a time to lock in an early Ruby gold lane. Otherwise,
Ooh.
it should be banned in the next banning phase. Kalia Lunox.
I like Kalia. She can work as an engage tool and also as an... Yes. Yes. I gave a lot of
Fair.
credit. Yuzong, Leo, super good combination. Same props on the other side. Farsa, Kalia, superb. You might not see it at first glance, but when Kalia grabs someone in the Tsunami Slam, it's the easiest thing. Alright, not the easiest, but it's possible to hit your feathered airstrikes. You can hit, I think, 2 or maybe 3 if she slows at the end. But the thing is, you can burst someone down very, very quickly.
Here's the big thing, right? Yeah, I agree that the Kalia Farsa is a good combination. The reason why I said Lunox was because she would have had an escape ability with the Brilliance if Yu Jong and Leo decided to hop on her. But Akura on the other side will not have anything apart from just the Purify and the Wings by Wings. So that is a bit tough. And now with the Gato added on the other side as well, things are looking even worse for the Farsa. Ban out the Harith in the gold lane. I think so they should ban out the Ruby first. That is the main priority. Because if in case Karkovsky picks that up, your entire dive composition can be countered really well.
Yeah, you said it correctly. Farsa will definitely struggle. There is a lot of threat on her. There is Yuzong, there is Leo Mort even that has to be considered, and of course Gatot, AOG immediately when you see her ulting. So Sura is ready for that. He has the Purify, so he can block some stuns. I might even went for a flicker if I was him, because with flicker he could be standing a little bit on the edge of the fight and then flick in the fight with the feather airstrike, or maybe stay a little bit closer and then flick out still with the feather airstrike. So I'm not sure if I like the Purify. Are you a fan of that, Scared?
Yeah, because we did see a flicker combination a couple of series ago, and that was where the problem was. Now, I don't really like Unix banning out the carry. I think so. If Karkovsky Pasiki would have picked up the carry, their lineup would have been super squishy, and this would have been an auto early game snowball win for Unix. If anything, Unix need a late game insurance against the Farsa, against the Yisun Shin, against that Kalia Farsa burst combination. So carry would have been a nice pick for them. And maybe I was expecting Karkovsky to ban out the carry in this next phase. Because they banned out the Claude. It is clear that they want to go for a double fighter. Maybe ban out an Alice? The ban is Zytion.
I would even go as far to say that from the first pick, it was very obvious that they want to go double fighter, because with Yisun Shin, you almost never go a typical gold lane. So I would even go as far to say that. Right now, Unix will be locking their next hero, and it will be a Moscow. All right. That has the late game security, don't get me wrong, but I feel a big discourse with the power curve. All right, Bruno makes much more sense, because let me explain. I sense a strong discourse with Moscow's power curve and the rest of the team's power curve, because if we look at what they have, all right, it's Nathan. Well, he doesn't really have the same problem, I would say, as would Moscow, because I feel like Nathan, yes, he is not strong in the team fights until he has the items, but same for Moscow, but his lane phase is not that bad, so he still has some pressure.
Ruby and Phovius, or Ruby Alice?
Is Phovius really that good? His his passive won't get procced as much. Yeah, I like Lapu much more. He can play into Yuzong. Or, okay. Nah, don't go for the bait.
Not that's a bit too many marksmen. Stuff.
Play fighter. Don't go for... Nah, they locked it in. Well, they will have it hard. And they look like they like it hard. Because they did it themselves. Their team comp is very, very squishy. They have not much HP. And Nathan, he is very good at dealing with squishy heroes.
And you look at Lager and Miko as well. They're both pretty solid at that. Now Zatian panned out. Pick up a Valentina and you've logged in a nasty good draft.
Valentina, I agree. She has so many ults she can steal. I don't know if I like that. Because they don't really have that much burst.
I mean, Faramis has got a good amount of burst, don't get me wrong. He can actually burst down the Moscow.
No. I meant on the other side. Because how useful is his ultimate against a team that doesn't really have that much burst? Don't get me wrong, of course, Arlot, Farsa, yada yada yada. But other than that...
I think so. If anything, it kind of sets up Stonix to go for a big final slash play. So it's a weird draw for both of these teams at this point. But I want to see how it would eventually work out for both of them. Let's be honest. I still am leaning in a bit towards you next. Unless Stonix can make some really good plays with the final slash on that alert. If that doesn't happen, I think so we can potentially crown Unix as the back-to-back FastCup champions. But ladies and gentlemen, we all are pretty sure that Karkovsky-Pasiki would not want to let that happen. So they're walking down potentially the last time in this Land of Dawn to make sure that it becomes the second last time for the evening as we hop in here for the ESEL FastCup.
Possibly the last game. As you said, the question is, will Karkovsky-Pasiki let it happen? Or will they do something to change that? Right now, Sura is definitely trying to do something to change that, but Mako, he's smelling something.
I'm not quite sure if you'd want to rotate up top again. That's a Yu-Jong, so doesn't really matter. Neutral objectives are being won by you next. That's again thanks to that Faramis as well as Painkiller on the Gato. You'd be able to do that pretty quickly. But down bottom is where my attention is going to be. Miarin versus Suli.
Well, so far the lane, at least on the HP bars, based on the HP bars from what that we can see through the map, it went the better for Moscow, but I don't know what happened right now. But that trade was beautiful from Sully.
Yep. And with that now, again, the Yu-Jong up top is winning. The Nathan down pot is winning. Unix are having control in the mid-river as well. Everything is going their way.
Also, it has to be said that playing Yuzong into Arlot tends to be annoying.
For the honor.
Painkiller. There is a fight happening. Lager with that ultimate available, trying to almost deal with Sura. But Sura surviving barely. StoneX now with trades against Mako, trying to deal with him. That charge residue being proc. StoneX needing to run away. Getting level 4. Final slash available. He did it, but he jumped under the tower. He got shot down by the towers. True damage shots and double kill for Mako as he almost made it a triple. This start is bad.
But it's exactly what Unix wanted. Instantly getting down those early few picks as well. A lovely bait setup coming in from Miko. Everything worked out perfectly for them. And on the back of that, look at his build right now. Just the Fury Hammer. I'm pretty sure he's gonna go for the War Axe. He's just got that Fury Hammer for that question. Oh, what an invade in the first 3 minutes of the game.
1000 gold lead.
Keep it counting, man. Because he's eaten the entire bottom side jungle of Esor, and now he's gonna hop back in his own jungle. While up you next are just protecting his own side of the jungle as well from any kind of invade. That's
And this is,
exactly what you'd want to do as a team.
yes, you want to do that when you are you next, but you don't want this to be happening to you if you are Karkovsky, Pasiki. If they didn't have Moscow and they had Ruby, they had Lapu, they had some fighter in the gold lane, this wouldn't happen because he would put pressure on the lane. He would eventually put pressure on the map as well. But with Moscow, you are just scaling and you are letting your opponents do whatever they want. They will keep doing it.
Yeah, that is indeed tough. Moscow has got a lesser range as well as compared to any other marksman there. So you need that malefic gun. And he's the only marksman who I normally say that is not just dependent on 3 items, that's the Trinity, but rather the 4th one as well with the malefic gun for that extra range. Phantom Shield was used up in mid to try and catch someone, but nice awareness by Karkovsky. We're not really caught in that. Now 5 seconds for the turtle. This means this one could potentially be a slow turtle until Lager has his ultimate up.
Well, right now it's not definitely a slow fight because Yuzo almost dying. Stonex trying to make a play happen, but he's there left alone to his own devices. Needs to run away. Still his ultimate, he is holding on to that. Lager with a finished Vorax. This looks like the turtle will be given to you next. And I'm not liking how the game is going. And I get it. Don't get me wrong, Karkovsky, they have the late game, but I hate for them to be in this position again where they try to scale. I'm not sure if that's the recipe against you next.
Considering you've got Mia Rain on the Moskov and Akura on the
Gatot.
Farsa along with Esor on the Ascension. Yeah, hold on, look at up top. This should be fine. Alright. They just hop in the very same bush, say hi to each other, and then run back. So coming back to the same point, yeah, there's a lot of late game scaling for Karkovsky per se. But they don't have anyone to control the mid game.
That one shot from Mako was just absolutely ridiculous. He didn't even use his Petri. He just went in and destroyed the bird. And honestly, let's be absolutely correct. If you were a bird and you met a dragon, you would probably die as well.
I would definitely call the win for the dragon. He can breathe fire. Yukasa, realizing where the sword was, just instantly went into the Ghostbusters mode to run away.
Will they steal it?
Top.
They didn't get it. He got it.
But he's behind
Leo with a 1v1 on the bottom side. Moscow will be getting Dolph. Leo, does he have enough damage? Yes, he has. Lager driving around on his Ducati.
Oh, wow. Stonix. Barely breathing out there. Tried to stun up Suli as well, but that did not happen. 4 more seconds for this next turtle, and look at the goal lead. Already 2,500 right now in favor of you next, and this is going to snowball even further. You got a Nathan in the hands of Suli. It doesn't matter, it's just for the vision. He tried to go in for the steal, but he will not commit to it. Bottom tier destroyed as well. And guess that goal lead of 2,500 has instantly increased to 3,500.
It looks like your wish will be fulfilled, Scared. You told me in the background you would like this to be 2-0, and so far it looks like you next has listened to your wishes, because Karkovsky, they don't have anything to fight back with. And yes, they have the late game, but if the gold keeps growing, there's a problem. If the gold stopped growing or it's slowed down, it would be fine. But the gold, if anything, it's speeding up. They are earning more and more gold every minute and at a faster rate.
That is one of the tough things to deal with. That goal lead snowballing out of control. 60 more seconds for the lot to even spawn up here. So that will give enough time to Karkovsky Pasiki to maybe farm up. I just saw a golden staff being made 8 minutes in. I'm pretty sure it's the second item of the Trinity. You still have one more to go. That is if you've only completed one part of the boots. So you're wearing shoes only in one leg. At least that not branded. So that's there. Orange buff, or rather the purple buff. Just being pressured a bit, but no overcommitment coming in from Unix. So they realize their mistake in the previous time. And this time, Sully also has got support in the form of Painkiller in bottom lane. So he doesn't get doted upon when he's isolated from the team fight. I like what Unix is trying to do here. Just slowing down the pace of the game entirely to their comfort.
I mean, are they really slowing it down? I agree, they are not making crazy plays, but they know that the play risk to reward ratio is probably not that big. Whereas if you wait for Lord, well, that's basically one tower, if not more. So they just considered the results, the possible results, and they went for what was the most probable.
Best one here,
And
yeah.
what was better.
Down bottom. Yeah, you can try and take the tower down though, but Painkiller was only there as a distraction. Black Dragon
Yuzong?
Bomb.
Yuzong? Why are we not watching the 1v3? Yes, we are right now. Yuzong almost sacrificing himself. Sura being taken by Lagger in mid lane. There are fights happening all over the map. I don't think we can even catch all of that, as Sora will get killed too. It's now just 3 against 5, and Lord, he didn't even step on the map.
Good thing is that Karkovsky Pasiki now really have enough time for their team to respawn back up, rendezvous, and then defend the slot. And they've also baited out the nether realm of Yukasa on the other side, along with the AOG and no Black Dragon form available. So they will still be able to defend their base down. They will have the Holy Shields as well off top and bot. 10.5 minutes into the game, they're all going to be up and ready. So yeah, I think so. This one is just to see how much damage can next do onto those tower structures.
The problem is that Holy Shield has been already dealt with in the mid lane. The top side will be dealt with as well.
wave
And
sync.
right now you only have Holy Shield on the bottom side, and Black Dragon will fly around, and maybe this could possibly be the last fight. Let's not get too hasty. It will just be a tower, because Karkovsky, they are not making the mistake. They are not going for the fight. They are standing tall and keeping their distance to be able to play further and deeper into the game and possibly try to upscale.
Now here's the big thing. You have got a pretty good amount of items out here. No solid magic defense. So even
Look at
Holy
Nathan
Crystal is gonna
scared.
burst
That's the
down
big thing.
through that.
I'm sorry
Yeah,
to
that's
interrupt
what
you,
I
but
was-
look at Nathan.
Exactly the thing. He's got Holy Crystal, 9,000 gold in his back pocket, as compared to anything on the other side. 6,800 for your Moscow in the hands of Miaren. That's still almost 2,500 gold. That's straight up one item advantage.
Alright, for the rest, right, Purify needing to be popped, but Yuzong, he is ready to rumble, and he is trying to separate Yuzong from the rest of the team. Stonex trying to make a plays happen, needs to flicker out of harm's way to keep himself alive, but not for long. He is dashing, he is jumping, but it's not enough. Mako with a mega kill. Sura, no more Feather Airstrike. Esor will try to make do, and he will deal with Nazaruk. So Sulai has been dealt with, and it's just Miarin there being left alone. Tower being his only friend. Miarin dashing around, keeping his pace, keeping his distance, and chasing 4 members of Unix from his own base by himself.
But they already got the mid lane inhibitor as well, along with the far lane being picked up. Stonix is going to be hopping back up as well, but in 10 seconds, Suli will be alive too. So
Go,
even
Lord.
though Karkovsky, Pasiki want to take this one game, or at least this next slot, it is not going to be easy.
I think this was a blunder. I think they should have immediately rushed Lord. Now it's too late, because Nathan is back on the menu. AOG on top of their faces. Storm is defending his teammates. Painkiller, Miarin dashing around. He has been dealt with. Miko, he has been killed, but you don't have the damage. Esor already running with a tail between his legs, and
Oh, it's a
Yuzo
triple.
will be chased by Lagger too. So it will be just Esor against the likes of you next. He is alone. He's the sole defender. Can he do it? He will try to do so, but I don't think he has what it takes. Because you next are taking their base chrysalis. They are taking the grand finals home. They are confirming that they are a big beast you need to be careful about, because this is their second FastCup that is being put on their belt.
Consecutive wins in those grand finals and not win the third game, but rather with the domination of a 2-0. This team has not lost a single game on stream, let alone a series. Phenomenal performance, as you rightfully mentioned, with a 505 onto the Leo mod in the hands of Lager. Endless battle, malefic gun, a good amount of penetration to counter the dreadnought armors being picked up on the other side, while you've got the endless battle's true damage as well, and the brute force breastplate to walk around a little bit more and not care about any kind of crowd control that's being applied to him, since he had the warrior's boot as well, and along with that you also went in for the brute force breastplate. I like this kind of combination to get that extra bit of anti-CC or control time reduction in. And with all of these micro plays, you could clearly see a big win coming in for Unix.
I don't think there is anything left to say after what we talked about during the game, during the first game, between in the drafts. Unix were the superior players on this day. Next weekend, next FastCup, could be a whole different story, but today it's all about them. They deserve the victory, they earned it, they fought for it, and they came out on top. Unix, congratulations. You are the champions of this evening. And well, let's see how you handle the rest of the competition that might be coming onto your throats in the next FastCup. Of course, that's still left in the future. You don't know anything about that. We will see about that eventually. Well, Scared, any last words for today?
That's about it, my man. You kind of summed it up pretty well. All two games again, a great straightforward domination from you next. Maybe next Sunday we'll see someone else who can maybe give them a competition or take the few games away, maybe get the series away. But that is all for the next week. We will be having throughout this week the women tournament as well going on, which you do not want to miss up whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen, as ESEL is bringing all of that action right at your YouTube channel, in your hands, in your phone, on your PCs. Do not miss out on that. Click on that subscribe button and also the bell notification. That's about it from me, Scared Yet, and alongside me we had Warren 1X. We're going to be catching you guys next week. Starts from tomorrow. Till then, bye bye, good night.